Just for a change, I'd like to say a big thank you to Superchat from FoHammer335 that was made before the stream even started. For $2, FoHammer335 said, "Wow!" Thank you, Fo. I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome. I hope that all of you were over on Hugh Jarsz's channel. Hugh Jarsz, seeing him taking Anthony Riley to pieces once again. Thanks for that, Hugh. I enjoyed that, man. Interesting thought. Hugh contacted me and said, "Hey, Mr. S, do you mind if I use that cheese experiment you did?" And I thought about it and said, "No, that's all right. Yeah, you go ahead." He said, "Good, because I've got it premiering tonight." Cheeky bugger. Cheeky bugger. But you know, Hugh, you're very welcome. Enjoyed that. I've got Hugh sat here in the green room. He's going to come on and have a little bit of a chat. Not had a chat with Hugh for a little while, which is nice. Oh, I'm showing 66 viewers. I need to times that by 10. I want 666 just to tick off those opposition people. That would be great, wouldn't it just? Still, I've got twice 33. That must be quite concerning for them. So let's have a few more. So who have we got in there? Oh, Alman asked or said he hoped that I'm doing all right in isolation. Yeah, I'm going a bit loopy, but it's okay. Mrs. S brought me a cup of tea, and I've got my own litter tray in the corner. I understand why cats like to play in it now, though. It's quite fun. Anyway, yeah, I'm coping all right. I've not been ill at all, so it's just a boredom side of things. So I should be thankful for that, and I am. I've done an awful lot of TV watching. A couple of days ago, I watched all of The Hobbit in one session. That was quite interesting. And right now, I'm 3/4 of the way through Band of Brothers. And is that reversed? Is it done? It is flipping cameras reversed again. It does it. Honestly, it does it of its own bat. Different applications seem, yeah, it says mirrored again. Weird. Save. Let's try see if that's sorted it out. Don't want to cancel the camera. Yeah, we're on the right side, aren't we? Band of Brothers. That's better. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you've got to. It's one of the most excellent TV series. Snark says, watch out for those collab videos. COVID. You're right, Snark. We have to collaborate at a distance of at least 2 meters, wearing masks and such like. But anyway, yeah, so I've watched quite a few box sets. I've caught up with a few bits and pieces that I needed to do. Had a bit of a delve around for more stupid. And I've actually found a couple of different ones. Probably out tomorrow night. I've got a video about a guy who thinks that trains run on compressed air. The cognitive dissonance in this guy is incredible when he has the information right in front of him. That's fun, that's different. And another one that's different is I've just done one about a scammer. this guy is flogging stuff that's obviously some sort of alternative medicine. He knows it's alternative medicine. He knows he's not allowed to sort of advertise on YouTube and wherever, but he does it anyway and thinks he can get around it. But anyway, he's particularly stupid, and he's the worst snake oil salesman I've ever come across. Ever. He is appalling. And I'll have a quick go at the end. I try and flog some stuff. Anyway, not really, just for fun, you know. So we do have Hugh in here. So let me bring him in. I'll give him a second to oh, look, tidy yourself up, Hugh. That's disgusting. Stop that. We'll bring him in as soon as he's washed up a bit, and we'll have a bit of a chat, because it'll be interesting to see his thoughts on Anthony Riley. Which reminds me, I was also on Creaky Blinder the other day. I don't know who caught that. I just popped in just to say hello on a stream, and once again he dragged me in and told me I've got an open invite, which is very nice. I do like old Creaky, and you know, someone's got to talk to him because no one can understand him anyway. I've got this knack of nodding and saying yeah, about 7:30, and he sort of accepts that. I mean, bless him. Maybe he could get elocution lessons or something, or English lessons, I don't know. Anyway, let's bring in Hugh Jarsz and see how he is. Hello, Mr. Hugh Jarsz. How are you? He's quiet. That's what he is. Oi, Hugh.
Oh, I'm here.
That's better.
I said hello. I didn't get any response.
No, I didn't.
How are you, Mr. Sensible?
Yeah, not so bad, thanks, Hugh. And I was just about to say, actually, that you reliably informed me that tonight I heard something, and this is true, I heard something that has never been heard in this United Kingdom in the past 200 years. I heard a sound that had not been heard for 200 years. Isn't that right, Hugh?
Yes, I have a family heirloom grandfather clock, which my great-great-great-grandfather bought in Scotland back in 1820. And my great-great-grandfather brought it out to Australia. Just my one great-grandfather brought it out to Australia. And you heard it as we were talking earlier, dinging away. And that was the first time it had been heard in the UK for all that time. So that's amazing, isn't it?
It's quite fun, isn't it? So it would have taken, well, I guess back then, weeks to get over there. And yet the sound travels around here at the speed of light.
Yes.
That's interesting. Sound travelling at the speed of light, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in fact,
you're speeding up sound.
Yes. Well, it's true, isn't it? If you turned up the volume to max, so I could actually hear it here, I would actually hear it over the Discord faster than we could hear it come here in reality. So,
well, I think this is amazing. I mean, it wasn't so long ago where international calls were really expensive. Now we do it as if you're living next door.
Yeah. It's a shame, really. All those people I thought I could avoid. Never mind.
Yes.
Never mind. So anyway, yes.
We're still avoiding a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, this is true. Talking of avoiding, I am personally avoiding Anthony Riley. I don't know what.
It's a good idea, generally.
Well, for two reasons. One, because the whole issue with him with conspiracy cats, and two, to do with his sort of slurs against me. So I shall not be engaging Mr. Riley, who incidentally had blocked me from his channel anyway. But Hugh, be my guest. Tell those who haven't yet seen your Anthony Riley video what it's about, so that they can have a look at it afterwards. The link will be in the it should be in the description anyway. Yes, the link is in the description.
I'm just gonna, and I've just posted it in the chat.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, give me some idea what it's about, Hugh.
So first of all, Riley invented a new term, blurfer. I figure that he's done that so that if he catches on, he can say, "Well, I started the term blurfer." I suspect he shouldn't have been. And I saw in the chat someone, I can't remember who it was, I'm sorry, said it should be, well, flurf comes from flat earth. So it should be glurfer, because globe earth, glurf. So it should be glurfs versus flurfs. So, you know, blurfer just doesn't make any sense. He's trying to say ball earthers. But, you know, who really calls ourselves that?
Yeah.
It's so that's the first thing he's trying to do. It's just an ego trip there, obviously. But hey, it's Anthony Riley. Of course, it's an ego trip. And then he was the key point of his boring video that took forever. The only reason my video was 20 minutes long because his was nearly as long. He was saying that if you had a scale and you had 5 eggs on one side and 1 egg on another, and then you put them in a saline solution that was the same density as the eggs, then the scales would balance. And the answer is no, they wouldn't, because they're the same density. So then there's no buoyant force. So therefore, gravity would still affect. And the thing is, as a flirt, as they're always doing this, they propose experiments which they've never done.
Yeah, well, that would have been easy for him to do, wouldn't it? He could have done that and proved it and said, aha, there you go, bluff.
And he'd have something to present as evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we could all laugh
but
about
instead
eggs and that. Yeah, go on, carry on, Hugh.
I was just going to say, if he had done that and shown that he was right, he'd have something to present to us. That we'd pick it apart and find any flaws in it. But if 5 eggs did float in a saline solution that was the same density as the eggs, well, that's something for us to look at. He'd actually have something for the first time ever, but he didn't even do the experiment that he wants us to do.
Yeah, that's a bit like what's his name, Bev Try Thinking, who's always going on about his flipping water experiment with a pipe, which won't prove anything, but he's been banging on about that for ages. He's not done anything, though. It's just crazy.
What is it with flirts? With flirts to choose names that are the exact opposite of what they do, like truth and try thinking. They never do that.
Well, actually, no. To be fair, he should try thinking. But
well,
I know what you mean. It's all the channels with the name Truth in it, isn't it? And reveal. And
the exact opposite of truth.
Absolutely. So if you've got a really, really tiny arse, then Hugh.
How do you mean? I have my own gravitational field. It makes it easier to pick things up, you see.
I mean, it's the opposite of your name.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Well, actually, I just
but I'm not a flirt,
mine.
so it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, mine is...
So you're not...
I'm not sensible at all.
Oh, gosh. I'll have to ask your wife about that.
And that other guy, he's no longer fight the flat earth, he's run away from the flat earth. I can believe that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how can you run away from something that doesn't exist, though?
Well, I don't know. And then you wouldn't have Simon Dan, would you? You have Debunked Man Dan or something.
Yeah, it's not as catchy, is it?
No, it doesn't work as well. And it would be Team Skeptic. It would be Skeptic all alone. This is interesting, but never mind. Okay,
what?
so you've done Anthony Riley again. Have you been having a bit of a fling with him back and forth, ping-ponging with him? Or is this a one-off?
Oh, on other subjects. He's still convinced that nurse who got the vaccine for COVID and fainted soon after is dead.
Yeah.
And his evidence for this is that someone's put an entry on Ancestry.com, which anyone can change.
And there was also that business about...
Yeah, that's his evidence.
There was also that business about the death certificate, wasn't there? So I forget the site, but you can look up and order or view death certificates for a small fee. But the problem is, what he didn't seem to realise is everyone is on there, in the States, whether they're dead or not. And it's only when you pay the fee, they'll turn around and say, actually, that person's not dead. There's no certificate. But the fact that they found her on there, they say, aha, she's dead. No, not at all. Well, I must admit, it would be nice. It would be nice now for her to turn around and stick the V's up and say, look, you stupid conspiracy nuts, I'm alive. That would be nice.
It would be nice, but I can understand why she doesn't.
Absolutely.
She's just a nurse. It's a high-stress job.
Yeah,
she's got enough to deal with as it is, without idiots.
That's right. She does not have to justify herself. But it would be... if it was me, I'd be trying to wait until they're whipped into an absolute frenzy and then just step forward. No, I got better.
Yes, just shove it up them, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said, she's just a nurse trying to do her job, and that they've shown video of her since the
on the stairs,
the date that she supposedly died.
Yeah, but they say that's not the same woman.
Warriors.
They say it's not the same
woman.
Yeah, that's
what he said.
Her hair's parted differently. Hey, I mean, no one noticed.
No one proof positive.
No one has questioned me, and my hair is parted on the other side tonight. So it just goes to show. So I'm fiddling around with one of those paper clips from that video, I think it was, Hugh.
Okay.
You commented on my paper clips, and I'm afraid I've just broken it. Never mind.
Oh,
I'll throw it in
and
the
that you
bin.
could have put that on eBay. You made a lot of money on it.
Well, now I can put 2 of them on it.
Yes, the working set. Yes, Mr. Sensible's actual paper clips from the video. Yes.
Oh man,
See
when
who
I did
what you get.
Mage, someone asked if I was going to flog bits of the balloon remains. Actually, seriously.
Did you get any?
Did I get any what?
Any balloon remains? It looked like it just exploded up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I've got the knot and some tatters. But that stuff perishes in ultraviolet, and also it starts to get a bit smelly. So I didn't want to inflict that on anyone. Yeah. Tony Regimes says, is that nurse even aware of Riley's existence? I don't think his parents are probably aware of his existence.
Well, they've disowned him, I'm sure.
Yes. They don't want to know about his existence. Owlman, we just assumed it was video inversion. What's that? The flip camera earlier on. It's weird. When I went on that thing on Simon Dan about a week ago with a bunch of other creators, my camera's showing the right way. It gets onto Zoom and it flips it. And then people were... so I turned it back the right way, and it was appearing the right way on the stream, and someone then said, your camera's flipped. I don't know. I mean, both sides are my best side anyway, so I don't see as it makes any difference. Oh, Marek.
True, yeah.
Marek. Oh dear. Marek, Mr. Z. Marek Zajak. I'm sorry, Marek. Has just super chatted 10. Are they Polish slotties? PLN, I guess. Thank you. Saying, yay, stream that is not in the middle of the night. Well, that's true.
Well, not. It's breakfast time.
There you
it's
go.
7:46 a.m.
What are you having for breakfast, Hugh?
Oh, I had a nice little omelette before I came on here because I didn't know how long it would be. So
That sounds very civilised.
Fed beforehand.
Yeah.
Yes, it was only a couple of meters wide, but yeah.
Oh, I had what was it? Marrakesh. Oh, something spicy. I can't remember what it was. Marrakesh something. Really nice rice and a minced a meat dish. I don't know. It was lovely. Mrs. S is actually probably listening. Mrs. S is an excellent cook. Actually, she is. She is a brilliant cook, and I will let you into a secret. She's a much better cook than her mother. That's safe for me to say because her mum hasn't got an internet connection, and I'm sure her dad wouldn't be able to work out how to find this one anyway. So, yeah, Mrs. S is a much better cook than her mum. Definitely. Oh, Pearlfish says on Discord, I see my camera versus, but watching a stream it corrects on the other end. I don't know, Pearl. It drives me crazy. But since I've got the green screen on, then the only difference is having the cable from the headphones on the wrong side, apart from showing text, which then appears the wrong way round. But hey. So what's your
if you lift it up, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your next plan?
I just wanted to actually... Well, just before I go on to that, I just want to mention, you mentioned green screen. I love your background tonight. That is really effective. It's not distracting, but it's interesting.
Interesting, yes. One thing I have noticed is you see just above my head, there's a flipping sort of translucent band. It's something to do with the scrolling text across the top. But I'm going to have to work on that because that's annoyed me. Yeah, it's annoyed me. Never mind. Yeah. But yes, it is a nice background.
I didn't notice it until you mentioned it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So what I've got coming up, I've got a live stream probably on Thursday morning for me, Wednesday night for you guys. I'm doing a video for Rachie, basically, Rachie 50. She, back in September, she gave me her 6 top questions about flat Earth and globe Earth, and I'm answering them all. I just haven't, it's a bit like Conspiracy Cat's video, actually. He's put a lot of work into what he did, and I'm sort of doing the same thing with mine, but mine will be shorter because I've got less to cover. But yeah, I want to get it right too, is the other thing, because it's not just for Rachie, it's for anyone who's on the fence, because that's the whole reason I have a channel.
Yep,
it's to give those people the information they need to understand what reality is and why the FLIRFs are just giving us rubbish. And that's what I'm trying to do for Rachie. And then I'm going to, after I do that video, it might not be this week, might be next week. It depends on when people are available. Rachie has agreed to come on to my live stream, and so has Professor Phil Bell, and we'll go through the video and talk to her about it.
Okay. I had Rachie on here for one time. We're talking about Mage. I found it very pleasant. We didn't actually get to talk that much because we were trying to do some real-time processing on some images, and that ate up the time and caused issues. Can I just jump in? I see Mr. Fohammer335 says, Mr. Sensible forgot my super chat. Much depression. I hope he yells it like an orc from Warhammer. Well, Mr. Fohammer, you've just dropped yourself in it, my friend. If you were watching the stream right from the very, very beginning, where there's the cheese board intro, you'd have heard me read out your super chat as a special treat over the top of that. Did everyone else hear that, or was it just me? The sound did come through, didn't it, everyone? But I did read it.
There was a break. Yeah.
So
I heard most of it, I think. Was a break, but I heard most of it, I think.
Oh, right. Well, I did say it over the top of the intro cheese board. But I can remember it. Warhammer 335 super chatted $2 to say, "Wah!" So I hope you're happy now that everyone's heard it a second time. I've also had
Well spent $2.
well spent, yes, $1 a wah apparently. I just refreshed the wrong screen now. I hope I haven't dropped the stream. I haven't, no. So that was Faux Hammers, and I see there's another super chat come in. Sorry, my PC's... I just upgraded my broadband, and it's slower than before. Second Best Bob has just super chatted £10 sterling, saying 1,600 deaths in the UK today, and my neighbour told me he was trying to talk his 80-year-old father out of having the vaccine. What the fuck? That's absolutely incredible, Bob. Absolutely incredible. I'm going to come back to that. Yeah, well, it could be, couldn't it? I'll come back to that in just 1 second, because General E. Shady, hello, General, also super chatted $2 Australian saying, hello, Mr. S and everyone. Bold spective. What are you talking about, bold spective? But I want to give a shout out to someone who's done something, as far as I'm concerned, very special today. My daughter is 23 years old, my middle daughter, and she is a carer at an old people's residential home. People up in their 80s and 90s and goodness knows what, which is an incredible job, and it's certainly one that I know I would not be able to do. She has a phobia of needles. Today, she had her COVID jab, her COVID vaccine jab. So I'm so proud of her for overcoming her fear. And the reason she's doing it, or has done it, is because obviously those elderly residents, and that's what's encouraged her to go ahead and overcome her phobia. But do you know what happened, Hugh? She told me. She went to the hospital, wherever the centre was, to get the jab. There's her and other carers and nurses and whatnot. And there were some other people started haranguing them, saying it's not fair you're getting it before us. I've got an 80-year-old dad or whatever. How come you get it? Failing to understand that they're carers. So, if an 80-year-old gets it and dies, of course, that's very sad. If the carer gets it and spreads it throughout a care home, you've got a shed load of 80-year-old dads that are dying.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to give...
It's just stupidity, isn't it?
It is. So a big shout out to my daughter. Well done, you.
She's an angel in many ways.
Oh, no, you don't know her, Hugh. I am proud.
Well, it said in many ways. It doesn't mean she's a devil in others.
No, that's true. That's true. I don't know if she'll be watching or not. I did say I'd give her a shout out. Sometimes she watches. Sometimes she even does some rude messages or cheeky messages to try and wind me up. And they try and throw me. But there we go. So no one's ever noticed one of these before. Oh wow! Well, the snark. Thank you, Snark. Just super chat €5 saying buy your daughter a Prezi. That's very nice of you, Snark. I'll tell you what will go down well with her: a doner kebab. I will get her a doner kebab. She'll be over the moon with that. Thank you. Sorry, carry on with you.
Oh, I forget what I was talking about. Oh, I think I was going to say something about the COVIDiots. Well, they're not COVIDiots in this case. They want the vaccine before other people. I mean, do they expect, what's the population in the UK? 60 million? They expect 60 million doses of it to be instantly available?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And if you've got a limited supply over time, I mean, everyone will get it eventually. But you have to but if you've got a limited supply over time, you need to prioritize. Yes, that's exactly right. And you've got to figure out, okay, where will it do the most good first? And that protects the idiots who are complaining about it as well, because if you help the people who are more likely to get it, then you slow down the spread of the virus. So they're just only thinking selfishly.
Yeah.
It's very Flurf-like.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? I do wonder when let's say someone like someone big in the community, someone like DeBay or Mark Sargent, just for the sake of argument, announces that they're feeling ill and they've come down, been tested and been told that they come down with this fake virus, and then end up dying or ending up in ICU for weeks and weeks. I wonder if there'll be a sudden rush to abandon this anti-vax position from these flat earthers and conspiracy people.
I don't think if any of those people caught it, they'd actually ever announce it. I think they'd hide the fact, and they'd just die, and then their channel would disappear. But people would say whatever happened to them. But
they'll probably say
never
he only
say that
died.
they actually died from it.
He only died because he's a shill.
Or he died of something else.
Yeah.
He might have had COVID as well, but he died of something else.
Oh,
I've had someone say that to me. They say you never die of COVID, you die with COVID, which, it stops you from breathing, basically.
Yep.
It destroys your lungs' ability to metabolize oxygen. So you're probably going to die. That's suffocation.
Have you seen some of those X-rays and that of people's lungs that have had it? Absolutely appalling.
No,
scar tissue on some of the lungs.
Wow.
It really does.
It's like a very severe pneumonia, isn't it?
Mm.
And pneumonia is bad enough. You can die from that.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know how it's classed over there, but where you are, Hugh. But here we got 3 levels. You got ordinary, not particularly at risk people. You've got vulnerable, which is the middle level, and extremely vulnerable. I'm in the middle level. I'm probably at the bottom end of the middle level, so I'm, it's not so desperately bad. However, there's a concern, I don't want it. There's still a very, very good chance that I'll be fine, but I don't want it. So when they say, hey, Mr. S, you can have your shot now, I'll be saying which arm is best,
Yep. If you get COVID, it's going to shorten your life. So you want to try and avoid getting it if you can, because that'll give you more days to enjoy the world.
Jesse102 has just said, my sister has these scars quite bad, Mr. S. Yeah, it's not good, is it?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's not good. It's all very well, these people saying, oh, well, it's only I don't know what they say, a 1% or whatever death rate. Oh, great. So 99% chance of staying alive. That's brilliant. Unfortunately, what's the chance, having had it, of you having some severe long-term effect? As you said, Hugh, something that may well be life-shortening, or certainly quality of life limiting.
Absolutely.
Stupid.
That's the nature of it. D-Rich1, I think his name was. It just scrolled up. Yeah, D-Rich1 looks like an anti-vaxxer.
Okay.
The thing with vaccines in general is that they prevent death. And to say that, or is he just commenting on someone else? I'm not quite sure.
Sorry,
it doesn't matter.
D-Rich1, if you would like to come in and chat, and I know Hugh well enough, and I also can be calm and chat about things, I would genuinely be interested in discussing this with you. If you would like to come in, you can join my Discord. The link's in the description below. Jump onto my Discord, go into the live, the live waiting room, and we'll pull you onto the stream. You just need headphones and a mic, and we can have a chat without any rudeness or swearing or anything like that, okay? Because I'd be interested in chatting with someone who's anti-vax. We're assuming that's what you are. And I'm sure that other people in here would as well. Okay? So we can actually have a...
It's always...
Yeah, go, Hugh.
Yeah, it's not an echo chamber. We're interested in what... The whole reason we do this sort of stuff is to figure out why on earth the other people have these different points of view, and see if we're missing anything.
Yeah, D-Rich, come on onto the Discord and we'll have a chat. All right? That would be great. And just so you know, this is not an Oakley-esque channel. You won't just get shouted at. You won't get abused. You won't get muted and booted and shouted, your volume right down, and think you'll be treated fairly as long as you obey a very simple rule of no what's the word, no unnecessary swearing or hate speech. You're entitled to an opposite opinion, and as Hugh said, we welcome it. It'd be good to have a chat.
No gas goes down, go boom boom either.
No, no. There's proof of...
Have you seen that song by Mr. Pascal Marx? He did that brilliantly.
Well, is this gas go down? I think I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah.
That the one? Yeah, I saw a little bit of it.
Well, I put a little bit in my video actually, but and I gave him credit. I want you to go
maybe
subscribe
that's
to
where
Mr.
I
Pascal
saw
Marx.
it. Maybe that. Yes, it was tonight, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Yeah. So that's where I saw it.
He's only got a couple of, I think he's got less than 100 subscribers, but that one video has like 4,000 views. It's just brilliant stuff, the way he put it together. I wouldn't have thought to be able to do that. So I always admire people with that sort of creativity.
Well, everyone's got different skills, haven't they? I was after.
That's what makes a society.
Yes. Well, when I was on Creaky's stream the other night, where for those who've never been on the stream, usually once you finish, you tend to have a few minutes chat in the back afterwards. And I was just talking to him about a couple bits and pieces, and just the fact that he's got graphic skills, so that's how he's done some cracking t-shirts, and he's got good graphics. I mean, I've done what graphics I can. I do my best. I don't think I do too badly, but that is a skill of his. Other people like Snark or whatever can do, and this other chap you're just talking about, Hugh, can do musical stuff. So,
mind if I put a link to it in the chat?
Oh, right. 1 second. Yes. Sorry. Link to what was that, Hugh?
Link to the gas goes down, go boom.
Oh
boom
yes,
song.
yes. Please do. Yes.
Yep. All
right.
There we go.
I've just seen a message going by Gary Y. Benger. Okay. Now Gary and I had a little chat after the last stream, and so I want to be very, very explicit to the mods. Okay. I would like you to err on the side of allowing Gary to post. I mean, I'm looking at the message that's there. It's not abusive, mods. Okay, so that message, Gary, you posted was not abusive, and I personally have no problem with that message appearing. I don't know if I can repost it for you. Yes,
Yes.
I think I can. Let me just do that. So this was Gary's message.
People hide Gary because on FDFE's channel, FDFE has issued instructions for that to happen because Gary refuses to go on and talk to FDFE. So
that's
he gets
not here.
hidden until he does it.
Now,
That's,
Gary,
yes, it's not here. It's not on my channel either.
Gary has been on the stream briefly once, and he has been in my the back waiting room a second time. Now, my instructions for mods are, if Gary is not being abusive, the posts stay. If Gary is not repeatedly copy-pasting, the posts stay. Okay? Gary, you are allowed to have a contradictory view. You did acknowledge that I had said that before, but I'm being very explicit, please, for the mods. I don't want to have to reach a position. I've seen another channel do. They basically scrap their mods and start it again. Okay, so I want mods to be very gentle. If you have a query about it, you can always DM me. Okay, I think that's fair. So hopefully you're okay with that, Gary. And Gary, in return, I ask you not to just repeatedly copy pasta. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. That's sorted. And hopefully we can all move on. I'm actually roasting in here. It's getting hotter and hotter. I think Creek is turned up the heating. Good grief.
What? It's getting up to 12 degrees Celsius or something.
Well,
it's about 27 where I am.
My aircon makes this strange squeaky noise when it sort of applies heat. So I had it running before the show to get the room up to temperature so it can now gradually cool off without being annoying. And instead, it still seems to be getting hotter in here. Yeah, it says 20.
Maybe you're on fire.
It says 23 over there. I don't know what the...
Oh, 23 is not roasting. God, that's a winter's day.
Oh, I'm turning it down a bit. Maybe it'll do a little bit of cooling. A winter's day. Yeah, I know.
I put the top down on the spider when it's 23 degrees.
Right. Someone, Graham, says that's exactly what Gary is doing. He's seen her repeat the exact same message hundreds of times. Well, yeah, Gary may have posted that all over the shop on comments on videos and perhaps other streams. he's welcome to comment it once here. That's fine. That's not copy pasta abuse. Do you know what I mean? If he kept posting the same thing over and over again on here, then that is, and that should then be blocked. I'm sure you won't do that though, Gary, and I'm sure the mods will be a little more careful. Thank you, everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, in the end, we need to talk to people like Gary. So, we don't want to piss him off. He complains that he's always blocked all the time, and that's FTFE's thing. That's not our thing. Keep him. Let's see what he has to say. You don't have to read it.
Yeah, actually, it's quite an interesting point. I mean, right now I have a particular problem with Riley, as does Katz and a couple of others. You currently, I guess, don't, and so therefore you're dealing with them.
I have the same problem.
I'm sorry?
I needed to address this. I have the same problem. I just needed to address the stupidity.
Okay. But, I just assumed you didn't have that problem. Therefore, you're happy to do a video, and that's fine, because that's down to, you and your decision. And do you know what? Someone's just put in there, perhaps I've got a temperature. The way I'm feeling right now, I'm suddenly thinking, yeah, perhaps I have.
Back your hand on your forehead. Do you feel hot?
Clammy. Oh dear. I hope it's not
maybe. This might be your last live stream. Who knows?
What am I going to run dead streams after this?
Well, maybe.
Well, I tell you what. I don't actually.
Uh-oh. The Rona.
I don't actually feel ill, but if I
you're talking you into it.
Yeah, you're talking me into it. Okay, all right, you convinced me. I got it. No, if I was tested and told I had it, I think I would probably do at least a sort of an update daily live stream, show people how it develops. That'd be interesting.
It's probably not the reality of COVID is sort of not really seen by the majority, is it? It's only by doctors and nurses to a large extent.
Yeah. And of course, if it comes,
carers.
If that was the case, I've had a little bit of a tickly cough for 2 days and I got better, that's going to convince everyone, well, it's all right, isn't it? You're not going to worry about it. But it'd be quite interesting if it was obvious suffering. Oh, this sounds really...
Yeah.
Yes, I'm taking my channel into a new direction, Hugh. I'm going to show everyone my suffering. Oh, dear.
But you do look quite fit for... you're younger than me from what I remember, but early 50s.
Oh, years younger.
Oh, early 30s?
I don't know, Hugh. I have no idea how old you are.
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Hear what? Oh, go on.
Grandfather clock. It just went 8 o'clock. It's a bit slow.
I just heard the last ping.
Okay. So therefore, a lot more people in the UK and probably a few other countries have heard it.
Started it all around the world.
The clock that rang all around the world. How about that?
Oh,
anyway,
Gary's just said...
What were we talking about?
Well, Gary's just said, Mr. Sense, we're gracious, you're 10 steps above the rest. Well, if that's about me making a request of the mods, then you're welcome, Gary. I do want you to post, and I do want people to post contradictory opinions so that everyone can chat and argue about it. I just ask you as well not to abuse that privilege. Okay? But you're very welcome. Yeah, so where were we? Oh, change...
I just wanted to make a point.
Fohammer 335 just super chatted $2 US. Change the channel name to Mr. Masochist. Oh.
That's a good one. I just want to make the point about Riley. I think he's a disgusting individual. The things he did to you and Conspiracy Cats, and no doubt a few others. That's utterly disgusting. And someone who trained in the law should know better than that. And that's not something I want to promote. But if he's spreading misinformation, I feel I need to point that out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about him personally, it was more about what he was saying.
And I'm happy if other people are sort of picking it up and carrying on with that, because I agree that stupid does need to be challenged. Generally shady, super chat $2 Australian, saying Mr. S is 30 with many, many years of experience. What are you saying,
yes.
General? But I did see someone else had just put in there, Mr. Sense was 29. He's just had a really hard life. Says second best. Bob. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Is it that Bob?
I like to say I'm 30-26.
30-26?
Yeah.
Is that your vital statistics or your age?
That's my leg measurement.
Oh, dear.
In meters.
Okay, well, look, we've got a couple of people in the live waiting room. Shall we bring someone in and have a chat? Are you up for that?
Absolutely.
Okay, I was waiting for your answer there, Hugh. Have you got a problem with connection?
Yeah, and you're digging again.
Yeah, I'm rather annoyed because I just upgraded my internet, my broadband. I forget the speed. I think it had said 30 meg, but I was getting about 23, and I updated it to the other one, which is up to 66. But the sort of the more or more expected is 49. Guaranteed minimum is 30. What I actually got today was 17, so I am not best pleased. I shall be on the blower to them soon. Right. That guy,
Yeah.
D-Rich 1, you're not going to come in then, pal? This is your chance before I drag a whole load of other people in. Do you want to come in? Let us know. Oh, Bob says he's so not that Bob. Well, what do you reckon, Hugh? Do you reckon that is Bob? He's just trying to hide.
Well, he's the second best Bob, not the best Bob. Then again, the best Bob isn't that Bob either.
Thanks, Bob. Right, well, D-Rich isn't doing anything. Had the chance, haven't done anything. Let's bring a couple of people in. Let's bring in, I'm not sure if I recognise this name or not, Hugh. Let's bring in this person. Hello, good evening, 007.
Hello.
Hello. Have you been on it before?
How is it? Yeah, that was on a couple of weeks ago.
Do you know, I thought I recognised the name, but I wasn't entirely sure. Oh,
Yes.
Super Chat just coming. Judy Bassett, €10. Sorry, I'm going to have to get my eyes done. €10. Thank you very much, Judy. Saying nothing. I appreciate the thought. Yeah. Oh, Hugh, you didn't have to run away. Oh, Hugh's run away. I was going to bring him in. Yeah, so...
I hope not.
Yeah, let's bring him back in. Hold on a second. Hey, Hugh.
Yeah.
Hey, Hugh, I wasn't throwing you out, pal. Hugh?
Yeah, it was a Pebcac error.
Hugh? Hugh?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. You disappeared out of the live. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
007, I'm saying that carefully because I'm not sure what name you want to be known as, and I'd appreciate your Discord name may not be the same as your, YouTube name or whatever.
No, it is. It is.
So you will be known as...
That's Paul. That's
Paul.
fine.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to cause any issues, Paul. That's brilliant.
No, appreciate
So
it.
how are you? I'm remembering
good.
you more.
Do you remember a conversation about accents and...
I do. Liverpudlian. I said I really love it. Yeah, it's all
Yes.
flooding back to me. Well, good evening to you again, Paul.
Good to speak to you. I wanted to thank you for a couple of videos that you've done.
Oh yeah.
Regarding COVID and some comments that you've made and taking people to task really over the vaccination disinformation really.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, it sort of hits home when we in our household we've got three people who class as vulnerable, and there was two, but now my mum's died, not of COVID. There was two, now there's one extremely vulnerable, and then you see idiots saying, "Oh, it's just flu. It's a pandemic. It doesn't really exist. You got a 99% chance of getting away with it." That really gets to me.
And I don't know if you remember from our previous conversation. I've worked on the wards with COVID patients in ICU, and through my work, I'm trying to deliver psychological support to patients at that point. And I've had two patients, sadly, who've passed away who have been COVID deniers.
Really?
And it has, yeah.
Now that is interesting because there was that guy in the States. I've forgotten his name, forgotten the state, and forgotten the county.
He was
a massive denier, and then he ended up being the first person in his county to contract it, and then he ended up in ICU, and on his deathbed said, literally said, "I think I've made a mistake," before he died.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've had exactly the same situation twice.
Yeah.
Where there's been 2 COVID deniers who have denied it even just before deteriorating. They've suddenly started to realise, actually,
It's
this
serious.
we were wrong. But it has taken things to get to that level before they've realised, and it's tragic in its own way.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know what else is tragic, Paul? How many people have they convinced or been part of convincing? How many people are affected by their stupidity, let alone their COVID, if they've passed it on?
And that's the thing. And I've got real issues because, unlike, well, I shouldn't say this really, but I remain to be convinced that people like Anthony Riley, who sits there and says he's got a degree in law and he's qualified, this, that, and the other. I actually have.
So he claims.
Previously. Sorry.
So he claims.
So he claims. He claims to have a law degree. I actually, previous to this career, I was actually working in criminal law, and I worked in it for about 6 years. I was criminal defence advocate.
Oh wow!
And then moved on through the forces, and I've ended up working in psychology, in effect. And
well, that brings you round to Anthony Riley.
Yeah, exactly. And it drives me mad when people who claim to have any qualification and any experience put these claims out there. And they put these claims out there at the detriment of other people. Other people's health can genuinely suffer. And this isn't a common cold.
No.
This isn't something that people can just contract, take a Lemsip and get over.
Although some people, of course, can know, Paul. Some people are even asymptomatic.
Absolutely.
But other people end up in ICU and others end up dying. And what is it, about a 50% chance if you end up on a ventilator, 50% chance of actually not making it? I think it's something of that order.
Yeah, which would probably, fits in for probably what I've experienced, in fairness. And people focus on the mortality rate as being the only major issue with this, and they say, "Oh, it hasn't got a very high mortality rate, etc., etc." But what they're missing the point is, it's actually it's the R rate that's the issue. So if more people have it by law of averages, more people will require hospital treatment. If more people require hospital treatment, then those people fill up the hospital beds, which means then that the general population has got a reduced access to medical facilities.
That's absolutely right. And also, of course, if you flood it with too many people requiring ICU level care, more of them are going to die because they won't all get the ICU care because it won't be available. So the death rate from that same illness will increase.
Absolutely. And I've still retained a portion of my community patients who do require ongoing hospital treatment, and who do require hospital supervision for some of the medications they're on. And if that access, and there are patients in oncology, there are patients in so many other different wards, and their access to medical treatment is reduced because the focus has to be on COVID positive patients. So again, you're artificially increasing the death rate of a country just because your hospitals are full. And so the R rate is the critical number.
Said, compound effects, absolutely. The more you have, the more the worse it gets.
Yeah, and it's a very good comment.
I mean, if you just took it, if half the population came down with it tomorrow, and the same percentage required hospitalisation, I don't know what the percentage is. Let's say it's 2% of those. Suddenly, that's 1% of your population requiring hospitalisation, you couldn't do it. You just couldn't do
No.
it. So then it comes a case of what are you going to do? You've got this person who's perhaps looking really bad, and they're sort of, I don't know, mid-60s, and you've got this person over here who's not looking quite as bad but still requires it, and they've got a wife and kids, young kids. They're going to choose that person. And what a position to put doctors and nurses in, to have to choose, because that's what happens, and there's no choice. It's called triage.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the awkward. It's always the awkward question. The triage is who do you prioritize for treatment? Who don't you prioritize for treatment? And it's such a difficult line. It's the one question that clinically you never want to be asked.
Yeah. It would help, though, if everyone who does refuse a vaccine was identifiable in some way. So that would aid it. So if I and they ended up, and it's a toss-up which one gets the ICU bed, should it be a person who was fully supportive of the national health, who has encouraged people to take the vaccine and precautions? Perhaps I've taken the vaccine, it didn't work for me, or I was a person unable to take it through no fault of my own, but a person who's a denier gets the bed. Is that right? I don't know.
It's morally corrupt. It's a morally corrupt sort of position to be in, almost. But it then boils down to the Hippocratic Oath that you protect life, all life, regardless. And
yeah, but then if you've only got the one bandage and there's two people bleeding, you've got to choose who do you put the bandage on. That there is no option, and you can't blame the medic. They only have the one bandage. It's the last one available. I mean, in wars and that, you can bet your bottom dollar when there's some big battle or whatever, and the wounded are being dragged in, they're not going to spend hours and hours humming and hawing. They'll have a quick look. No, he's going to die. We'll try him, see if we can operate. It'll be as easy as that, as brutal as that. Because if you faff around, then they're both going to die. If you don't give that bandage to one, they're both going to die. And that's a terrible position to be in. And what's really bad is if everyone had maintained social distancing, did the washing, wore the masks, apart from people who are medically exempt, all the preventative measures were taken as when the vaccine's available, if people take it when they're offered it. If you do all those things, we still will end up with a hell of a lot of dead, but a hell of a lot less than we might do. Hello, Speak Truth, Seek Truth. Six Speak Truth. Sorry, mate. Hello, good evening to you.
It's EST. It's easier. Can I just ask the question? In Australia, we've got a My Health record, and specifically in Queensland, the Viewer, which records a subset, at least, of all the medical data of your history to help clinicians make better decisions. You don't have something similar in the UK, because that would record whether you had the vaccination or not, I would have thought.
Well, we have medical records. Records.
Yeah, but you don't have a nationwide database?
Yeah, it'll be. I don't know all the ins and outs, but your medical records are available in whichever hospital you go to. So yeah.
Okay.
But then I don't.
There's something similar, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they would ever do something like have a look. Well, he refused the vaccine.
No.
Now he's ill. No, it would be.
Well, you
a
wouldn't
case
see
that
that he'd refused it. You'd see whether or not he'd had it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't see a refusal. We would see if somebody's been issued the vaccine, and we'd be able to get all the information from that. So we would be able to trace the serial number and the production information of that vaccine, so the very specific batch that vaccine came from, and who produced it at what time and when. But what we wouldn't be able to see is if somebody's refused it. I know that it's very controversial. I know. But I do think that, if people, rather than fining people for breaching of lockdown regulations or social distancing regulations, if the fines went to a certain level, and then people were told, if you do this again, we are going to mark your medical records to say you are a repeat offender of breaking social distancing regulations. Therefore, it becomes optional to the health services whether or not you get treated for COVID-19 should you contract it, I think people would genuinely be more attentive. They'd be less inclined to break the regulation.
I'm sure they would, and I'm sure that a great number of the population would say, do you know what, that's fair enough. They've had, let's say, 5 different grades of warning and fine. However, when it comes to it, as a doctor is going to say, no, I don't care, I've taken a Hippocratic oath, I will still treat them. And, I'm not blaming them for that, and I totally understand. But then it just seems unfair if they ended up getting treated and someone else doesn't, because they happen to have a better chance than that other person who did their utmost to protect themselves, their family, and everyone else. That seems harsh, doesn't it? It's a nasty position.
I absolutely agree. And I've unfortunately been in that position where we've looked at people's medical situations, medical records, and we've looked at what situations they are in, and I've been party to those decisions being made, and it's heartbreaking every single time.
I mean, you think in normal times when someone's on life support and there's all those worries and decisions and meetings and discussions and even going to court about switching off a life support machine, this is much worse than that. Much worse.
Yeah, it is, and it's happening. That I think the thing is, it sort of one-off cases. Excuse me, one-off cases are tragic enough, but when these cases are happening all over the country, systematically at the same time, it's so difficult to deal with. And I'm getting referrals now for NHS staff who are mentally struggling to cope.
That'd be PTSD. Is that what it would count as?
Yeah. There's PTSD cases. There's individual trauma cases. I'm seeing anxiety referrals where people are, nursing staff are genuinely anxious going into the workplace.
I bet.
Because it's just, they know what it's going to be. It's going to be another day of being ground down. It's another day of seeing the same things and trying to emotionally process that.
Pretty much all medical people have PTSD of some sort because they have to see a lot of things that the rest of us don't have to see.
I wouldn't want to. I saw on our news today that in one area, one county, I think it was Hampshire, they're setting up emergency morgue to cover the 4 big hospitals apparently in the area. They're not their morgues are near overflowing. And I know that going back to just before Christmas with my mum, there was the potential that one of my youngest daughter she was exposed to COVID, and there was potential that she could have had it. And we spoke to the undertakers, and they said no, there is absolutely zero chance of rearranging. You were lucky to get a slot. If you don't take that, then you don't know how long it will be. They're struggling already.
Yeah. I mean, not luckily nowhere that I've been working, but I am aware of hospitals where the police are now being used because ambulances are all in circulation. There's no ambulance availability, and police cars have been employed to pick up patients and take them to hospital.
The problem is, even when you get the ambulance, they get the patient, get them back to hospital, they then have to park up because they can't get them out of the ambulance into the hospital because there's no spare beds.
No, I believe there's also a train of thought, and I don't know if I've heard that it's possibly been used, so I wouldn't like to pin my flag and say it has, where it's in certain hospitals where it's been deemed that patients are safer treated in the back of an ambulance. So some patients will actually, the doctors and the nursing staff will go out of the hospital to the ambulance to treat the patient rather than the patient go actually into the hospital, because they know that effectively the ambulance is a sterile COVID-free area in which to treat the patient.
No, I'd certainly heard about some being treated in the ambulance. The implication was because you physically couldn't get them into the hospital. But actually, that's a good point. Otherwise, you're exposing perhaps a non-COVID patient to COVID or a higher risk of
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, hospitals are systemically full of sick people, and at the moment, the majority of those people are COVID positive. So if you take a patient out of an ambulance who doesn't actually need to be seen within the building,
Yeah,
and if you can facilitate treatment within an ambulance, you reduce the risk to the patient of contracting COVID from the hospital. So treat them in the ambulance. The downside to that is that you then tie up the ambulance for the duration of that treatment.
yeah. Well, quite. It's not a good situation, is it?
It's an impossible situation, and every hospital is struggling to balance the needs of the patient to the risk of to the exposure of COVID with the service delivery and the treatment that patient individually needs.
And the thing is, whatever the rights and wrongs are of the past, and with regard to the funding of the NHS, we are where we are now, and chucking money at it can only help to a certain extent, because if you've only got so many ambulances and only got so many ambo crew, you've only got so many doctors and nurses and so many beds. Okay, we've upped the beds with the Nightingales and so on, but you can't suddenly magic loads of extra doctors and nurses out of nowhere, no matter how much money you chuck at it. So there's a limit, and at some point, at some level, hard decisions have to be made, and they will be made, because if you don't make the decision, that's a decision in itself, and maybe more will die.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, fundamentally, unfortunately, from a patient perspective, on a day-to-day basis, I can't sit back and look at the politics. I've got my own opinion on the political situation and the way it's been handled, but actually, right now, that doesn't matter. For me, that's probably a public inquiry and a deep inquest into what's gone on and the logistics behind it. But there's got to be accountability for the way that this has been politically managed / mismanaged.
Yeah, as you said, that is going to be one of those things that had to be looked into. I mean, like, every country's different. I mean, we've now got one of the highest rates in the world, but then, okay, we're not the most densely populated country, but we are a very densely populated country.
Well, you do have Riley. He's pretty dense.
That's true. That's true. Yes. So are we suffering more due to the UK's relative density? It could be. It could be the new Riley theory.
Because Riley is there, maybe the UK is actually sinking. Who knows?
Yes, we always thought it was isostatic rebound. Maybe it's iso-Riley rebound. I don't know. He's moved south, and so Scotland's going.
The Riley criterion.
Yes.
The Riley criterion.
Oh man.
But it absolutely it drives me bonkers when you see people like Riley making these comments about the vaccinations, about the process, about and they're arguing with virologists and doctors, and they've literally done 3 minutes research on YouTube and Facebook, and they've seen 3 people with an agenda.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. They've approached it with the same approach that they take to flat Earth.
I mean, a subject like that it's not something that you're going to fully understand with 5 minutes research. You might get the roughest idea of some of the issues involved, but doctors and medics have years of training.
Well, that's Dunning-Kruger, isn't
it?
Absolutely.
It is.
These idiots think they've read something, they think they know something about it, and therefore anyone who actually has studied it for years, they must be wrong because they came to a different conclusion.
But I find it so hard to get that mindset. If I was allowed to visit a nuclear power station, I know just at the roughest, I mean the very roughest sort of level, what sort of thing goes on. So I know that my knowledge is pitiful. It may be a lot more than other people's who've not looked into it at all because they've got no interest, but my level of knowledge is pitiful. If I had that opportunity, what I would be doing is saying to whoever took me there, show me this, tell me, how does that work? Why does that work? What happens if? You know, rather than trying to tell them they're wrong and they don't know what they're talking about. It's just mad.
Well, Riley did the same thing in his video that I attacked in my video. He clearly doesn't understand how density and mass attracting mass and all that sort of thing works, because
which in itself is fine.
He proposed,
it's fine not to know.
Yeah, it's fine to be ignorant. It's fine not to know something and not understand something. You know, that's not a problem. But when you don't understand things and then go say you do and try and convince other people of what you say who know even less than you, that's spreading disinformation, and that's a problem because that makes our society spend productive time on things that aren't productive.
This is part of the reason why you see in institutions like NASA just say, you know, effectively ignore flat earthers.
Yeah.
Because, well, the scientific method is to observe something and then to progress. And you don't look for scientific proof. You look to disprove so that you're always pushing for advancement. And what flat earthers do, what the majority of these the majority of the psychology is around in this area is around distrust and questioning things that have already been shown and not necessarily proven, but have been tested and tested and tested. And because you don't trust the person telling you the results, you just distrust everything that they're going to say.
Yeah.
And presume that you're right.
Well, I'm going to
They've clearly been lied to at some point in the past, and as a result, that's the distrust comes along. And there also seems to be another common factor is that most of them haven't really achieved anything in their lives. So Mark Steele's a classic example, and because he hasn't achieved anything in his life, he's desperate to have meaning, and so he makes up stuff so that he can reflect in that meaning. And you know, he's a weapons expert, but he's never. The only weapon he had got him in jail. And
he's just a weapon.
He wrote letters to weapons designers. You know.
I'm going to bring in someone new. I've got a feeling they may have been on the channel once before. I sort of half recognise the name. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm bringing on Andy130. Hello, Andy130.
Hiya, how are you doing?
I'm not so bad, thank you. Have you been on before, Andy?
I have a couple of times, but it's been a little while.
Yeah, right then. So I'm not totally mad. I do recognise the name.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
Good. So do you have any thoughts on the subject we're talking to? Because I don't know your background, and I'm not trying to pry beyond more than you're willing to reveal, but do you have any thoughts on this whole thing about COVID and vaccination and so on?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually followed this really closely. To be honest, I've been a little bit smug about it because we noticed it in February. We started preparing in March for the possibility of basically everyone going crazy and buying loads of shopping at once. So we spent about 4 weeks slowly building up a little supply of food.
Okay.
So we were ready when the supermarkets were all out of stock. We stayed home for the week.
Yeah.
What
was funny,
I've been watching it with interest at first, and now with fear.
I think it because of course we in the UK we've had the Brexit thing as well, and suddenly people were bulk buying lettuce. What the hell are you going to do with bulk bought lettuce?
Yeah. See, we were so careful about it because what we didn't want to do was firstly to start other people picking up big chunks of things.
Yeah.
So we did it so carefully. It was literally sort of an extra can or two of this, an extra can or two of that each shopping trip, and just a slow build up without starting a panic and without causing a shortage. Anyone could have done that, but people weren't on their toes, and then they all panic buy at the last minute just before lockdown starts. So yeah, we sat home with our feet up, and we,
Well,
we were on top of it.
I mean, with the
Can I
first,
just?
I was just going to say,
Can I just?
with the first lockdown, there was one time I went round to a local small shop, and it was in the evening, and there was only myself and the lady at the till, and we were just talking about things. And I was sort of, have you had any problems? Because some people were being abusive to staff, and they said they'd had a few, and so on.
Oh,
And I was asking about a couple bits and pieces. Did they have it? And she said, but what we haven't got is milk, and also the UHT milk had gone, and the baby milk had gone, because people were buying powdered baby milk because there was no more milk. They were going to use powdered baby milk, which is
wow.
okay. That's great. You've got your emergency backup milk for your tea, powdered baby milk. What about the poor sods who got babies?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Disgusting.
Yeah. The people really should have been much more careful. I don't, there's no point in panic buying. It didn't achieve anything.
But also, must admit, the simple step of supermarkets refusing to let people walk out with a trolley entirely full of toilet rolls would have been easy to institute. I think that was a bit poor.
Yeah.
Well, I eventually did that, but it was the horse had bolted by then.
Yeah.
Well, there was one guy who bought a load of loo roll and a load of hand sanitizer and had the audacity to try and take it back to the store.
Yes,
and
that's
they told him to go and
take a running jump. Absolutely.
It somewhere else.
Yeah, good. That was pleasing.
And wasn't there a guy in the US?
Oh, I thought it was in Australia.
Oh, hang on, no, I think it was Australia. Yeah.
No, sorry, there was a guy in the US who bought $20,000 worth of hand sanitizer at the start, and he tried to sell it at a hugely inflated price on Amazon. And he ended up, the FBI, it was a federal crime, and he ended up having to. He ended up selling it all very quickly at cost price and donating all the money to a local hospital.
Oh, well, all's well that ends well. But...
Conviction. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think there was another story, like Andy was saying, and I think it was Australia. Someone had basically bought a shed load of stuff, and of course the lockdown started ending, and toilet roll became available again because people weren't bulk buying it anymore, or the stores had managed to get the supplies all sorted out. So then he went back and tried to take it all back, and I just realised my aircon's squeaking. He tried to take it all back and managed time to take a running jump, which is quite good.
Yeah,
quite good.
I think if I remember it correctly, he was trying to sell it originally, but that was when they locked down on people selling hand gel and stuff because of all the shortages. So yeah, it's
I'm absolutely certain that there's toilet paper out there that was panic bought by idiots that will be in the wills of those idiots. So they're going to have to hand it down to their children.
In preparation for the next pandemic.
I saw a great meme about that, actually. And it said something like, they'd gone into the future and they were like, no, someone had come into the past, that was it. And he was like, oh, they're all dead, but they've got really clean asses. Anyway,
sensible.
Respond
to the DM, please.
Yeah. I just seen that. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Someone just saying that about clean asses. I'm going to share a story with a guy I work with. He's one of the funniest guys. One of the funniest guys I've come across. He said he was at someone's house, and it was just him there, and he went up to use the loo for number 2. Okay, sorry about this, but this is the story. So he did his business. He did his business, and then noticed there was no toilet paper. However, what they did have was some of those wet wipes, in the little plastic packets. Which he wasn't that keen about. But there were 2 packets. One was open and one was closed. And he said that he thought to himself, I'm not going to use the open one that everyone else had their dirty hands in. So he opened the other packet, used it, got himself sorted out, went back downstairs. 5 minutes later, he started to feel a little bit uncomfortable, and then more uncomfortable. So he went back upstairs to check, and found out that they were Sillet Bang bleaching bathroom wipes.
So in other words,
he said he did have the cleanest arse in the UK that day.
so he bleached his own anus.
I mean, it won't be long before someone tries to sell that idea.
Well, that's true.
Self-bleaching anus wipes.
He's got another story about his cat.
Has happened.
He's got another story about his cat, but I'm not going to share that on here. Anyway, he's been affectionately known as Sillet at work since we found out.
Oh, poor
And the thing
guy.
is, well, you wouldn't say that if you knew him. The thing is, I actually don't know if the story is true or not. I believe it could be, but it just as well couldn't. Either way, it was just such a brilliant story, you know.
Yeah,
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Absolutely.
agreed.
So, Mr. Sensible, I thank you very much for having me on, but I've got 2 corgis that are getting hungry, so I better put some pants on and go and feed them, I think.
Put some
So,
pants
great
on.
to chat to you.
You filthy
Well,
beggar.
you've seen my avatar.
Have we been chatting naked?
Well, I haven't.
Well,
Have you?
I thought.
No, I haven't.
Well, when
I
I
didn't
say I
realise it
haven't,
was that sort of gig.
when I say I haven't, of course,
Hold
the
on,
top
what have you
half
been
of
telling me?
Oh man, this is not supposed to be a perverted live stream. Okay, thank you very much,
Well.
Hugh. Thanks for coming.
All right, mate. Thanks a lot.
You take care. All the best.
Bye.
All the best. Wow. Well, he was a weird bloke, wasn't he? Listen. Let's bring
What a
in-
great ending.
I'm sorry.
What a great ending.
It was, wasn't it?
Mm.
Release the corgis. That's what I say.
Yes, absolutely. Release the hounds.
Let's bring in Vislanik Pikla. How did I do? Vislanik Pikla.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, is that all right?
Yes, it's almost okay.
I was going to say, go on, give me marks out of 10. Hold on, let me try. Marks out of 10 for it. Vislanik Pikla.
9 out of 10.
Oh, right. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Almost got back because Slanik Pikla is from the
Pik-
Polish letters, without Polish letters. So it's okay by reading only the correct letters, but it's
see?
a variation from Polish words. But
Yeah, well, if I had the correct letters, I'd have done much better, obviously.
I have something better for you.
You have what?
Something better for you. You can read my name from Superchats.
Oh, is it on there? I didn't.
Marek Zając.
Right. And let me. Yes, I remember you saying that you would get me to read it or something like that. I did see a comment earlier on. Hold on. Actually, there was another super chat by General E. Shady. Thank you, General, for $2 Australian, saying, "Feel Jesus. To feel Jesus in you, you must be an altar boy." Oh dear, I've missed whatever that conversation was. Okay, so I've got to see your name written down now to try and.
I can read you in the message or in the chat. Where do you want it?
Just post anything. Just post a full stop or something in the.
Okay. Here you go.
Okay. All right. Oh yes, because I did try and read it, didn't I? Marek.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm going to get a bit closer just to try and see. Okay, Zajits.
Zając.
Zając. Oh God.
And Marek, you can read it with much more harder R. Marek.
I can't roll R's. Marek. Go on, you have a go, Andy.
Polish language is quite easy with reading, but with correct making long sentence it's very difficult. But reading is almost easy because each letter has always the same sound.
Oh, that's easier than English then, isn't it?
Actually,
Yes,
Hungarian
and
is
French on other.
that's the one good thing about Hungarian. It's phonetic. If you can sound those letters, you can say the words. They might be a bit of a tongue twister,
Yes, it's
but once you know them, yeah.
Mm.
it's the same with the
I've
Polish
heard that
language.
before. Yeah, I've got an Icelandic friend, and her name is Kolbranosk Sigtryggsdottir.
I wouldn't have them as a friend. I would just not speak to them again. Then you don't have to worry about it.
I mean, actually, I call her by her sort of online name, which is Haldemay.
I call it Eric and be
Much
done with it.
easier. I'm sure she'll love that.
Mr.
I'll
Sensible.
tell her that.
Yeah.
Mr. Sensible, I saw you had Polish lessons on last video
Ah, yes.
from chat roulette.
Yes. What was the English? I forgot what it was. I got them to teach me.
It was good morning. Or what was that sentence?
It was a 2-word thing, wasn't it?
Dzień dobry.
I can't remember.
Oh,
But it sounded like, it didn't sound to me when he said that. It didn't sound real. But of course I didn't know, so I had to roll with that and hope I wasn't swearing profusely.
No, he wasn't trolling you.
Yeah,
If you wanted that.
it was fun anyway. It was fun. So actually, talking about things in general, about other videos and so on, I want to ask people and people out there in the side chat, this side chat that appears on the screen, do you think it's a good idea to have it on the screen or not? Someone made a comment saying I'd have more space for stuff. I'm not sure what stuff I'd need, but fair enough if I didn't have that. Now some channels and streamers do that, some don't. The other advantage is it's actually embedded in the video then, so if it was ever shown anywhere else, all the side chats with it, and you're not relying on YouTube showing it. And I have certainly found when I'm watching someone's stream back, the actual live chat thing down the other side doesn't keep in time. So I don't know. What do people think? Let us know.
I think there's enough room for it being on there.
There is
the
quite
way
delay.
you've got it set up, it's fine.
yeah, I think fine.
Yeah. Oh, hello, PhD Tony. Good evening to you. Yeah. Well, I'm quite pleased with it, and I do watch streams back. And then of course I can read the chat there, and of course if ever I was capturing this video for use in another video, which is done from time to time, you've got all the chat there and then embedded, as I said. But I do think it's a valid point, a valid query. So yeah, I'll continue to think on it unless yeah, good idea for a record. Screen chat's fine, leave it there please. Good.
Oh,
It really brings out the green in my eyes. Keep it. Oh, Tusky smoothie. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do anything rash. So, one sec. Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for that. 2 people. I'm going to put it onto the stream. Thanks, C. Well, there was Seek Truth, Speak Truth, who I did pull in, but then for whatever reason, perhaps he had a mic problem, jumped back out again, and someone else. Let me bring them both in. So, hello, good evening to you, Seek Truth.
From NASA, and so it's brilliant, mate. I love your channel.
Hey.
Hey, you're in a different room now, STST.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Boom, gotcha. Well,
STST,
at least
back to the Earth.
Yeah.
At least it was nothing, nothing rude again.
Yeah, not like last time.
No, that's right, but still. I'm sure you can get replacement leather and oil. It won't be a problem. But there's also... Oh, actually, there's another person I'm going to bring in, but just had a super chat from Mark Wagner for $10 US saying, it seems like the side chat often becomes a vehicle for and dominated by attention seekers who take away from what is actually going on in the stream. Well, that could be the case, Mark. You're quite right. Yeah. But other times, perhaps people aren't interested in the topic at this point, and they'll get into a discussion about something else. Sometimes they're arguing about flat Earth, and we're talking about COVID. But yeah, no, it's a good point. Good point. Thank you for the super chat.
I personally don't think they should be exclusive. There's little communities going on in the chats, aren't there? If you know what I mean. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a little chat in the chat.
Yeah. But
no,
then
I agree.
he's also right in that if it gets into a bit of a dumpster fire, then that can cause an issue. So there's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But the other person...
It is.
Oh, sorry, Paul. I was just going to say, I want to bring in this other person, Jesse102, who I understand is a new debunker. Hello, good evening to you, Jesse.
Hello.
Hello, you're live on Mr. Sensible.
That's amazing. I'm quite nervous.
Oh, no, not to be nervous. You know, there's only 140 listening now, 6 in here, and of course several million will watch it over the next 2 days.
Oh, no pressure at all.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Jolly
And
good.
how are you?
Yeah, not so bad. So, is it a new channel you've got then, Jesse?
Yes.
Okay. Perhaps you can get Jesse's link and we'll drop it in the chat. So what sort of thing are you doing on your channel, Jesse?
I, funny enough, started my channel to debunk flat Earth, and just recently made my very first video because I did quite everything else, but mostly pseudoscience debunking.
Okay, that sounds good. So when did you start your channel? Is it very, very new then?
The first video was in August 2020.
Okay. So it was a little while back. Are you someone that piles out lots of videos or quite infrequent?
Quite infrequent because I was in an orthopedic rehabilitation for almost 2 months,
Man.
It was quite hard to make some videos.
Oh,
there.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I try to keep a schedule at the moment.
Okay. Well, I don't know if anyone... Oh, Speak Truth just subbed. Well, STST, if you've got the link, can you drop it?
Great.
Can you drop it into the chat?
Colon's already dropped it.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you so much.
I'm there now, looking at it, subscribing as we speak. There we go.
You guys are amazing.
Well,
Thank you so much.
So how many subs have you... Oh no, so... Colon, you just... Oh, right, you just put STSTs. Where's the other one then? Jesse 102.
Oh, it's above. It's a little bit up.
Got it. So how many subs you got then, Jesse?
I have now, let me just check, 71, I guess, was the last I have seen.
Okay, that's fair enough. Unfortunately, you're wrong because you've now got 80.
Oh, wow, amazing.
Maybe, you never
as a
know.
German, I have the problem that most of my family doesn't speak English that well, so they watch me say something, but they don't really understand what my videos are about.
Well, okay, but they could still be subscribers, couldn't they? And
yeah, they are. They just start promoting, but in the beginning, I just didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to check it out a little bit, but now they're all...
I understand that, and also there's a bit of nervousness. What will people think? What will people say? I know that Mrs. Sensible and my kids were, don't tell anyone. But
really?
Yeah. But when like I mentioned it, I had to mention it to a couple of people at work. They were really supportive. They've signed up. They've made comments. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just gone up again.
I know. Keep going, guys. Keep going. You're at 92 now, Jesse. Let's get you over 100 tonight. Got to get you over 100.
We're going to hit 100, didn't we? Yeah.
Yes,
well, I can help. There, I've subscribed. I didn't think of that.
Yes, the next
creeping up
video
nicely.
would be...
Oh, 97. You're going to do it, Jesse.
Oh, wow.
Come
Then
on,
I have to make
99.
99. Have you got any red balloons?
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is going to turn into a 100 subscriber special, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, you're going to have to... 100, Jesse. Yay.
Oh,
you got it.
109.
So, Jesse,
You guys are amazing.
when is your next video out then, Jesse?
I guess I will make one tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, that sounds good. That's very nice. Very nice. Oh,
You
that's
guys are
great.
amazing. Thank you so much.
I'll
Wow.
check these out later.
You're 104 now.
Wow.
Go on,
Bloody
go
hell,
on, go on.
slow down, everyone, though. Don't let her take over Mr. Sensible or me.
Hold on, I just had a DM. I just had a DM from Simon Dan. He said, "Stop it right now."
I will come for you too then.
She hasn't been.
That's the
She hasn't been
spirit.
NASA confirmed yet, has she? So
No. Well, good luck in your channel, Jesse. I look forward to checking
Thank you
it out.
so much.
And hopefully you'll feel comfortable in here. Listen, everyone I have met in this community has been great. When I first started, I had massive encouragement from people in the Shields, Jup Monk, Dick Dawson, Logical Troglodyte, and a whole bunch of others. And it's been a case of pass it on. People helped me, I helped others, and that's the way it goes. So
Yeah,
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, and I felt it. I mean, when I read the comment from Conspiracy Cats, I, for a minute, lost my shit.
Well, what was the
because
comment from Conspiracy Cats?
Yeah, he said excellent, and then recommended my video on Twitter.
Oh, nice one.
Wow.
wow.
And
That's
Cats
brilliant.
is such a nice guy. Really like him.
yeah, he's the one, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I stumbled upon in my recommended on my YouTube.
Mhm.
And that's when I just started on the whole flat earth thing. And so it was a special moment when I read the comment.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice, yeah. Well, we'll look forward, all 110 of us now will look forward to your video when it comes out.
Wow.
That's all
Oh,
I know.
but again, no pressure at all.
No, none at all.
Guys,
But if you let us down, we'll have to
don't
kill you.
forget
It's
to hit the bell.
amazing.
Don't
Yeah,
forget
make
to
sure
hit the
you-
Oh,
bell.
that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you
Because
so
so many people,
Do you know?
so many people don't do that, and it kind of makes a massive difference.
Yeah. And I'll admit there and then I had forgotten. As simple as that. It's not an intentional thing. I just
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, but
Tusk.
my biggest doubts were just because of my German accent.
I no.
'Cause-
You've got your English is much clearer, much more easy to understand than Creaky Blinders. That poor beggar. No one can understand him, and he's done all right really. But Tusk
I
has
can
super chatted
understand
£2 at Jesse, saying, "Is Jesse taking on the Lugengemeinschaft then?"
Oh yes, of course.
Hey, I must have said it right. You didn't say what the hell you're talking about.
Wow.
No, Lügengemeinschaft is German.
Yeah, I
You
know.
did it.
I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means, but what is it?
Something like lying community
Ah,
when you translate it.
Ah,
So yeah, I'm one of the shields now.
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, H.
So-
Jaspery said that you're brave.
Sorry. I'll mute my phone.
That's all right. H. Jaspery said that that's brave running a channel in English language if it isn't your mother tongue. And it's sensible.
Mhm.
We're giving you a thumbs up, Jesse.
Thank you so much.
Someone
Yeah,
else
I
has just said
just-
you're at 114.
114. Wow.
I tell you what, Jesse, I really remember what it felt like, because when you start and you think, well, you know, it's really hard. You see these people with thousands and you get your
Yeah.
first few and that's nice, and then you see what's a natural target, a nice round number like 100, 300, 500, and you get a real kick out of achieving it, and that sort of thing.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
It helps drive you. Absolutely.
Of course.
I think
And
those
I'm
early,
sick at
those-
home for 3 years now, so I could need that little push.
Jesse's username,
That's
Martin,
good.
is Jesse102, and the link is there. Okay.
I think even say getting to the 1,000 is probably the biggest achievement, more so than maybe getting to 10,000. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I was talking about
it's
this.
actually very. No, you carry on, sir.
Well, I was talking about this with Creaky the other night. There's definite things that YouTube does when you first start, they're not going to give you a push. They don't know who you are, what you're likely to be. But if you carry on, you keep producing videos, and your subscriber count grows, I believe that when you reach those milestones, 1, 5, 10, that they give you a little push. Because actually, just before I reached 5, it suddenly got really hard to attract new people. Like it wasn't being shown. Links weren't being shown to new people, but it hit 5, and then suddenly there's a little rush forward. They obviously think, well, look, he's done this, he's carried on, and apparently you're on 120 now.
Yeah.
I think maybe those magic numbers. I think, like Simon Dan said, he found the video with the bloke with the gate, didn't he?
Oh yes.
And you did Mage, which was just unbelievable. And then I think it's the things like that. You hit the magic numbers. I don't know. I've not done it, but you hit those magic numbers, and then once you do something fantastic, that's when you get the big kick and the big push in numbers, maybe.
Yeah.
Mage as well, Mr. Sensible, would have put you out there so much further than your usual reach.
But I tell
Do you know what I mean? Because
of course.
I tell you what, though, STST, if you have a look at my home screen, Mage is still only on. I know I'm honestly not moaning about it, but it's only on 11,000 views. But one of my other good videos, we get 4.5, 5, whatever. The best one I've got is Simon Dan related, and that was 22 or 23. But I was actually surprised. It's not moaning, but I was surprised that it didn't get more views. Because it's been mentioned left, right, and centre across the flat Earth community well as ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not going to watch it.
Of course.
Most of them aren't, are they? But it was the more the shockwaves it caused. I thought earlier actually, like I was kind of, I know it sounds a bit vain, but adding up all the views I'd had on other people's channels, and that's way like 4 times as many as I've ever had on my own channel.
Right.
And and that just shows you how really you do need to be getting into the millions of views before you're getting 5, 10, 15,000 subscribers. Like it does seem easy, but there's so many views behind it, even if they're not on your channel, if you know what I mean. Like it's what people are saying on other channels, and they may watch another video of yours, or do you know what I mean? So but to me, mate, honestly, that Mage was literally like the
work of art.
2020, it was the best thing to happen to destroy flat Earth in 2020, mate.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that, STST, and of course Dan on that Debunker stream the other night made specific reference to it, and it means a lot. Like I said, I'm not moaning about the number of views. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not moaning about it, but it has meant a lot to me when people notice it, and it's been noticed. Fight's spoken about it quite a few times and used bits. I came across someone the other day that was using some imagery in it, and I also had an email from a guy who wanted a chunk of the raw footage because he wants to do some curve processing sort of stuff on it, which is great.
Speak through is speaking through.
I'm sorry?
Speak through is speaking through. The Mage was just great.
Oh, thank you. You're speaking truth, yes.
This is what was missing in this lots of debates.
Yeah, no, it was an impressive undertaking, to be honest, and not many people have gone as far as that to actually put solid proof out there that really can't be debunked at all, and we all know that.
But I'll be honest and say I didn't know that it would do as well as it did. I mean, I reckon it was about a third was me just wanting to do it because it's a cool thing to do. I reckon a third is perhaps thinking, well, this is going to provide something to talk and argue about, and provide some evidence for. And the other third is, hey, if I do this, I might get a bunch of views, But no, it was great fun.
When you preside, but the groundwork that you put in with the reference lines, with the full unedited footage, what you did by doing that was cover the bases that they can't refute then. And that
no, sorry, mate.
That channels them. Sorry, mate. That just channels them down it channels them down a dark alley with literally no escape. But I mean, like you said, sorry, ST, go ahead.
No, all I was going to say was like it's really the only video that I've seen where it is specifically aimed at debunking flat Earth as a balloon video, if you know what I mean. And that video has been produced by the person that put the balloon up in the air.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was, you know, that's like I say, it was great, mate. Like, you look back in probably 5-6 years, that video is going to have way over 100,000 views, and I know you're not too worried about that, but these moments in history come in time sometimes. You know what I mean? Like for the kind of shockwaves to go through, but that was a brilliant demonstration of the curvature.
But I tell you what, I'm looking forward in a few years' time to watching it again and thinking, oh, I did that, because you know, it's so. You know, I personally think it's so cool. I mean, of course, there's people who do that sort of thing every day. Q is a regular parachute balloonist, and he might think, oh, well, that was a good one. Oh, I didn't get so good on that. That one did what I wanted. But for me, it's doing something different that's out of the ordinary. I said on, I think it was on Creaky's stream, a few years back, I wangled a ride-along on a police helicopter. That's not something most people can do, and I can look back and think that's cool. That's an experience I had.
Yeah,
you know. So it's all good fun. And Jesse, I've just opened up one of your videos, and I realised I've seen you before on one of your videos. I must have caught a bit of one of them. Do you still have your hair that colour?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
I have it.
Sort of purpley bits. I'm a bit colourblind. Is it purple?
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah, purple. The bottom half is purple.
Yeah, so I must have seen videos because I caught.
Really?
Yeah, I just plumped on one at random, and it showed the red line sort of about 3/4 of the way through. So at some point, I must have watched most of it. There you go. Anyway, so
wow, that's so cool.
And let's just have a quick look. Oh no, Right, what have we got you to? So you're on how many were you, Jesse, did you say? Before we started with that
on 71.
And it's now 127. So nice little uplift. Okay?
Wild.
Oh, that's great stuff. But you are going to have to produce videos because otherwise they'll slip away again.
Oh, of course. I mean, I started discussing with co-videos and stuff on Facebook, but they just blocked me at the end, and that's why I decided, okay, I'll do YouTube now.
Yeah.
That's conspiracy theory page 101, isn't it?
Yeah.
Call names, block quickly so that you can't reply.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
I had a lot of other people in my DMs saying it was so unfortunate that they blocked me because they did like all my comments and they learned so much and they encouraged me to do the YouTube.
Find anything?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Glass. I've just caught you. I'll bring you in. Yes, that's 2 tonight that got caught. And did you speak at all, Glass, with Joe that was in there? Because I sent a message to Joe and didn't get a reply.
Oh, yeah, I've talked to him.
Oh, so he's in there. He's around, is he? Because he's muted right now.
He's on doing something.
Oh, okay. Well, let's bring in the other two. We'll have a bit of a party. So we're bringing IB Hunter and Brixie. Not seen you for a while, Brixie.
Hi, yes, I was just having a chat in there.
I could pop you back if you want.
No, it's having a chat with me.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want to, I can pop you back there for 5-10 minutes and then bring you back again if you want.
No. We'll stay.
You're worried about not getting back on it, kid, aren't you, guys?
Yeah.
Perhaps I'll just be mean.
An hour and a half.
Perhaps I'll just. I know. But it's very difficult because I like to give different people a shot to get on here as well, and it also depends on the subject matter and so on. But yeah. Oh, I see Joe's blocked and unmuted, so let's get him on as well. Hello, Joe. Are you ready to live stream now?
Hello.
Hello, you're here, Joe.
Hello. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Live on Glass Monsters YouTube stream.
So we got Brixie, Glass, and IB. Actually, and you as well, Sick Truth. What do you guys think about this whole thing with the COVID deniers and the vaccines, the way it's going?
I mean,
hello.
well, someone
Hello,
else,
Joe.
sorry, I won't keep talking.
A microphone does work.
Oh, it's working mostly.
Okay, mostly is good enough.
Okay. So
I can't. Sorry.
I'll tell you what.
I have a lot of experience with this COVID stuff. Kind of impacts me pretty personally. My son's
hello, Mr. Sensible.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. IB's just speaking. Hold on. I know you're a bit quiet, IB. Let me see if I can turn you up a bit. You said that you're being impacted personally by COVID. Is that right?
Well, to a pretty good extent. My son is waiting for a heart transplant.
What I'm listening at.
And with that, his immunocompromised, and after the transplant, he'll get he'll have anti-rejection medicines.
Yeah.
So he won't be able to take the vaccine.
No.
No.
So he's one of those people that the rest of us that can take, it's that much more important to protect him as well.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So whenever I have to get out and I have to go into some of these public areas and I see someone that's just not being courteous, I'm going to say,
Yeah.
I'll have to avoid the area because I can't risk bringing that home to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it greatly limits my mobility, even though I'm not a high-risk person. I deal with someone who is high-risk. Also, I just got notified yesterday that my uncle passed away from COVID.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I'm so
man.
sorry.
Oh, man.
So he...
Damn.
They were being impacted by the hurricanes here in South Louisiana, and they were trying to repair their house that got destroyed, and ended up catching COVID, dealing with a lot of the people that they needed to recover to fix their homes, and ended up spending about 3 weeks in the hospital.
Okay, well, I am. You can hear other members on here, and I'm sure in the chat as well. Our thoughts are with you and your family. That's terrible. And can I just say, for anyone who's out there who is still denying the virus and coming up with this crap about Bill Gates and vaccines and stuff like that, excuse me, you are fucking idiots. I don't think I can put it any other way. I'm sorry.
I heard of a guy, very local story to me. A guy in my local sort of shopping centre. He was a security guard, and he went in to work for about 4 or 5 days, thinking he just had a cold, and he then obviously was like, "Oh, I need to get a test." He'd been to see his mum. He'd been to see his sisters. This is like a friend of a friend, and over New Year's, his mum and dad actually died, and he now has to live with the fact that he stupidly was just going around with symptoms, and he was just like, "Nah, it's not COVID, not COVID." And honestly, within about 6 weeks, both his parents were dead.
That's terrible.
The local hospital had a massive spike. It's more or less at capacity now, and more or less, what do they call it? Like a super thing?
Super spreader.
Do you know what I mean? Like
super spreader.
Yeah. He was like a security guard in our biggest shopping centre in the town centre, just around Christmas. Late November, and he probably spread it to 200 people. Do you know what I mean?
See, that's it's not to that scale, but that, I mentioned earlier on about my mum's funeral, and literally 2 days before, my youngest daughter, who's back from university, had the test to make sure she was fine to travel. Back from university, went back to her sort of little part-time job. She had a call from them because one of the other workers had felt ill, had a COVID test, but decided to carry on working while they waited for the results, and then came back positive. So they it wasn't just they felt ill and ignored it. They actually had the test and carried on. So she was given a call, which then you can imagine how upset she was, because she thought she wasn't going to be allowed to go to her grandmother's funeral, and they were really quite close. It turns out, in fact, it would have been okay on several fronts because she didn't get it, but also I was really surprised. But a funeral is one occasion where immediate family, even if they test positive, can go to the funeral.
Can attend.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. If you test positive, but you're not showing symptoms.
In Germany, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle, they were positive. And while they were in quarantine, my step-grandfather died of COVID.
Yeah.
And no one was allowed to go to the funeral.
It was terrible,
so
wasn't it?
That was, it was.
Just to pick on something STST said before, with regard to, I don't want to sort of give too much information, but I dealt with a case where a father passed it on to his child. And the child was, I'll say the child was under 16.
Okay.
And I actually sort of tried to work with the child on on ICU. And the child unfortunately passed away. And the PTSD, the trauma counselling, the grief counselling that we've had to put in place is phenomenal.
I bet. Did I? Yes, you did. We've got the radical, the spiffy, unhallowed knight in the room. Hello, Raj. How's it doing?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? This always happens to me, by the way. What the hell? I'm just talking to Colin, and all of a sudden, pop, I'm here. In the middle of Gee.
Well, how are
you,
my
Star
friend?
Trek, innit? Like you're just beamed in.
Yes.
Like, beaming up, Mr. Sensible.
I tend to be the guy who just jumps into conversations anyway. So hey.
Well, we got a nice.
Yeah,
I was going to say, we've got a nice crowd in here, Raj. Nice crowd. How are you, my friend? Not seen you around for a
Hello,
while.
everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
So we have Andy130. We've got Brixie, who's not had to get a word in. Glass Monster, IB Hunter, Jesse102, new to debunking. Joe Kuiper, who's got microphone problems. Joe Whip, who just dropped in. Paul Heath.
It got quiet all of a sudden.
Ah, that's better. Hello, Joe. Yourself, Raj, Seek Truth, Speak Truth, and a Polish
I can't hear Mr. Sensible.
Islamic.
Jesse. So, is it my fault that it's quiet now? I'll leave if it's my fault. I mean.
It might help. How are you? Come on, how are you? Where have you been?
I just posted your YouTube channel on my Discord server for you.
Where have you been,
Thank you so
Raj?
much. You guys are so nice.
Well, you haven't received the charge yet, Jesse. We're going to invoice you, and it's going to cost you. Well, I'm afraid at 132, it's already going to cost you quite a bit.
Oh, that's fine. I will pay for that.
Excellent. You'll be able to take it out of your NASA shield check soon.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, you can get NASA to pay for that. Put it on your expense account.
Hold on.
No, you can just repay the subscribers by giving us more members.
But hold on.
Oh yeah.
Did you say expense? Raj, do you get an expense account?
How do you think I mean that castle doesn't run
that's
you
true.
know, and I have presents where they deliver my armaments.
The peasants do.
Armaments.
Armaments? That was easy for you to say. Armaments.
It's not a play on words. It's literally what I fire.
You sell the FTFE then? Armament.
I know his location, so I can fire anything at him if he gets to give me any lip, you know?
He's up north. It's the north end of the UK. The cold and manky end you want to hit, all right?
I've met his Scottish internet.
Keep the south
very-
nice and fine.
Yeah. It's all sunny down here.
How's
even
your
at this time
cannon
of night.
working, Radical?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
How's your cannon working?
Oh, how's my cannon working? Hey, we don't talk about my
Personal, isn't
cannon.
it?
Yeah.
You always get personal.
Oh dear.
Cannon. The one on the castle.
Oh, the one of the. Oh, okay. Well, we didn't talk about that last night. Hey, you know me. Don't ask questions like that. I go in directions you don't want to. I just had a team.
Just
Well,
like
that's okay.
cannibals.
I'm on your Discord server.
I know. There's more people on my Discord server. I don't
And
really
you're on mine.
use it. Yeah. I also have a Discord server
You're
apparently.
on mine.
You didn't know that you had a Discord.
Yeah. No, I have a Discord server, but I don't really use Discord because this app keeps crashing. And I was talking about it with Colin on Now I'm Here. Talking about it again, you know? That's what you get when I'm mid-sentence. But hey, let me just welcome
Was
Jesse
that
here.
magical? We can't hear you, mate. You keep cutting out.
Hi.
Apparently.
Whip is in the waiting room.
Yeah. John Raj, you were just saying, you were speaking to Jesse, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, do you know what you're getting into? I mean, flat earthers? Oh dear.
Oh, of course. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, well, the good thing
You
is they're
didn't-
starting over, right? They're basically rebooting. Most of us have handled all their claims already. So it's a good time to start slapping some flat earthers around because they're literally starting from scratch again. So you're going to have fun with that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I do think a few of them, at least, will come back to Flat Earth when the whole COVID thing just flattens out a little bit.
Yeah,
when they
probably.
realise people aren't interested in not selling any COVID T-shirts or whatever the hell they're pushing now.
Yeah, when everything,
I think
when
COVID.
when everyone is
Sorry,
vaccinated,
Jesse,
no problem. When everyone is vaccinated, I think they will go back to their roots, if you can say, because I think the COVID stuff is more profitable for them at the moment.
It's more dangerous.
They're losing
Yeah.
their channel. A
It's-
lot of them are losing channels and getting strikes because of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all a bit shoot now.
What I would say is, and I'm not supporting them.
It's even more controversial, and I refuse to even look at the videos. I wait for the debunks to come out. I don't watch any of the enemy intel. I just don't do it because it's not worth it. I won't give them the time of day unless I see it in a debunk video. End of.
I'm quite happy to let a lot of the flat Earth stuff go. It's reasonably harmless, but when people are talking about COVID denial and criticizing the vaccinations, that's when it becomes dangerous. That's a public health issue. I've got an issue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think,
It's not good.
honestly, COVID has caused a lot more conspiracy theorists than before, though.
Yeah.
Most of you guys, obviously got social medias other than YouTube. Have you noticed that, even people in your day-to-day lives that might be friends of friends or they seem to all be coming out of the woodwork.
Oh yeah,
And the basis all seems the same.
Yeah.
The basis all seems the same.
Don't listen, Jesse. Don't you worry. You sound as though you're able to put yourself forward. Just do that. Just jump in. And at times you're going to butt against someone else, and just one of you will have to sort of say, you go first, and that's it. Don't worry about it. All right.
Ladies first.
Yeah.
And fight.
I'll back out.
No, I just wanted to say I had one in my Facebook friend list. He started as a little techno DJ, and now he's one on the front line of the whole QAnon thing. He made some protests in Berlin. He organized some of them, and he's so far gone. And you could watch him in the first 2 or 3 months, and he's completely a different person now.
It's sad, isn't it?
That's frightening.
Yeah.
That is sad. And like people were saying, is the COVID stuff does cause more problems. And, a flat Earth belief, in a way, it's it isn't harmless, but it's definitely more harmless than COVID denial. If you know what I mean,
I think
they're
generally
so
flat
far
Earth,
removed.
generally flat Earth in itself is quite is not very harmful. It's not ideal.
No.
The problem is it's a gateway conspiracy. People fall into that, and then they get exposed to all the rest.
Yes.
As soon as people distrust governments, as soon as people use that distrust of a government for one thing, it expands to distrust governments for everything. And when public health messages from doctors are delivered through governments, that's where your problems seem to root.
Well, you can tell the people who spend a lot of time on Facebook.
Yeah, you can.
Because they're anti-vaxxers.
I mean, personally, I watch the live news things that the government puts out, and I watch the World Health Organization. I do not use Facebook for news, not in the way that some of these people seem to.
Well, the thing is, it's not even news from a slightly or very biased news channel. It's news as in crap just fed up by other people. In effect, retweeting or re-messaging stuff that someone said this and someone said that, and before you know it, it's gone through half a dozen people, and no one knows what the truth is.
Yeah.
Can I just throw in just a random comment just to come back to something that somebody said before, and I've no idea who said it, and I'll apologise now. But somebody said that the son was waiting for a transplant and they were going to be on immunosuppressants.
No, that's Hunter.
Yes.
Yeah, apologies. I couldn't remember who said it. Just while people have been talking, I've just had a look. And it would appear that the Pfizer vaccine, so the RNA vaccination, should be eligible. There's no indications that I can see at the moment that people with who are subject to immunosuppression can't take that vaccination. So it may be that if he's on immunosuppressants, I can't see at this point any indicators why he couldn't be given the Pfizer vaccination.
No, what Transplant is telling us is that they would like to have some more long-term history in the thing to how it affects with other medications and other things. So before they risk anything giving it to him, they're going to study it a lot more before they give it to him.
Well, fingers crossed.
Is fair.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense, doesn't it? You've got to be ultra careful. But fingers crossed, that works out. I mean, with Mrs. Sensible, she's anaphylactic. So whatever the first, what was the first? Was that the
Pfizer was
BioNTech?
the first one?
That's right. She can't take that one. When the Oxford one came out, I said, look, you need to find out to see if you can take that one, because there's no reason that it should be the same. And she did find out, and apparently she can take it. Unfortunately, the government have regraded categories or whatever, and whereas she would have been high up the list at the time the Pfizer one came out, she's lower down the list for this one. So there we go.
It's typical. Absolutely typical.
Yeah. Never mind. At least she knows that she will be able to have it when the time comes.
Absolutely, and fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Have you seen any of the videos around Facebook or anybody where it looks like someone's having like a convulsion? But me personally, I think, not a professional, but I think they're even faked videos. People literally having a joke, because look, like, I've seen one with a woman on a bench and she's like really convulsing and like her body's all over the place. But she can speak perfectly.
The shaking also doesn't come across with the hands. So sometimes when she speaks, she doesn't start shaking, so she forgets. Oh wait, I need to act. So it is kind of a debunk
I
version.
think you've seen the one I've seen. I think
Yeah.
Sean something her name was.
I've not seen this.
Honestly, I think and she set up a GoFundMe. I honestly think there's going to be people sitting there going, do you know what? I'm going to just make a fake video. Oh, I'm doing tremors. And I think, not being funny, if that was a family member of mine, I wouldn't be going live on Facebook and showing them, like, film it for evidence, but you'd take them straight to the hospital.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I've not seen the video. Adam L says that he wants the mRNA vaccine, somehow trusts it more than a vector one. I'll be honest and say I know very little about the differences between them. This RNA one, is that the one that people are saying can affect DNA? Which are
Yeah,
but it can't, can it?
yeah.
No,
No, it's
RNA and
impossible.
DNA. It's a different thing.
Yeah, RNA. There's no way that the makeup of an RNA vaccine can affect your DNA. It's literally scientifically nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Dr. Bob fixed
mRNA.
that one up completely.
That's true.
Yeah, and the
RNA
mRNA thing is used, at least in Germany. I don't know how it is in England, but in Germany, the same technology is used to treat cancer. My boyfriend's grandpa wouldn't be alive without this technology. It's literally the same.
Yeah,
But
this technology
don't let that
is
put a damper on a conspiracy theory, though.
no, exactly. The truth getting in the way of a good story, unfortunately. But this is one of them stories where people tell it and people will believe it, and the impact of that is people dying.
Yeah.
Well, I saw someone,
the RNA.
someone
the RNA
recently.
vaccine.
Sorry, Joe. Go on. You go. You've not had much
You're the
chance
bo-
tonight.
You're the boss, Mr. Sensible.
No.
So,
Please go ahead.
well, the RNA vaccine basically is the RNA creates an immune response that mirrors the receptors on the COVID molecule, and that's all it does. It causes the body to create an immune response. So if and when you actually get the COVID virus, the body's already is built up already with a response ready to go, and it attacks the disease immediately.
Well, Adam L says
I mean,
that none of the vaccines can affect DNA. RNA is not able to enter the cell core.
No,
It's not.
absolutely not.
Okay.
No,
It's good to know,
it's
isn't
just
it?
a snippet.
I've heard a lot of people say about like the supposed metals in the vaccine and saying like,
Oh,
it's
God.
causing neurological problems and
No, nonsense. In
There's far
high
less-
quantities, they
Completely
can.
nonsense.
yeah, there's actually far less they're putting in you than is already in your body anyway. So
Yeah, just
like, it's not gonna
Supposed chip.
suddenly cause some reaction.
I remember.
The
I-
metals they're talking about, there'd be 10 times as
You have
much in a
people
can
thinking
of
there's
tuna.
you get a chip.
Tuna.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
like a chip's going to pass through the head of the needle. Like really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It was only a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to one of the consultants at work, and we were just about to set up for a vaccination clinic, or he was about to set up for a vaccination clinic, and somebody had asked him that question, and his simple response was, "Do you eat sausages?" And the person just said, "Oh yeah, of course I do," and his immediate response was, "There is more metal in those sausages, in the meat, than you will ever get from 10 of the vaccines."
Yeah.
And you don't question a sausage.
Oh no, I'm
I've
anti-sausage.
questioned many a sausage, to be honest.
It's a sausage conspiracy. I mean, look, we got Jesse on here. Germans are well known for their love of sausage meat. So there we go.
Yeah.
That proves it.
Bratwurst. Oh, Bratwurst is my favourite.
No,
But
skeptic is
something
known
else-
for his love of meat tubes.
Something else I come
Yeah,
across.
meat
was-
tubes.
I come across
Yeah,
some.
meat
Skeptic
tubes.
in it and his bloody meat tubes.
I came across
Jesus.
someone.
Don't do that. Don't, please. The Lego man is coming. The Lego man is coming. Jesse, there's actually
I think
There's
I'll just
actually
go
a good-
get a beer and let these guys carry on.
there's actually a Dutch commercial, Jesse, where the Germans are making fun of our knackwurst.
Really?
So these Germans come into the bar and they want a beer, right? And it's a tiny beer, and they're just laughing at that because you guys have really big beers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
then-
we have
then-
a mass is 1 liter.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
You're
One
from
third
the
of that.
Netherlands, aren't you, Reginald?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was shocked when I came over there and ordered a beer. About nearly a third of it was just like the head. I was like, what? Like, that's not a pint. Like, but then like you're right. You go to Germany. You go to Germany. It's the opposite. You say, "I'll have a
Exactly.
drink, please," and like suddenly, you've got to have been working out at a gym to take that thing back to the table.
Well, the same thing goes for sausages. Wurst. Damn, now I'm confused. Do English people
only
with
Polish
their
sausage.
sausages?
Only
What's
Polish
wrong with
sausage.
bangers? But yeah, we
Well,
have
I
like
must-
Bangers and
they're
beer.
like tiny versions of the bratwurst.
So I must say that my favorite sausages I've ever had in Germany. I've been in Germany, and the keyhole sausages at some of the Christmas markets. They are just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
Where I live in Germany, in the south, in Stuttgart, we have this tradition on Christmas Eve. We just eat potato salad and sausages. We don't make a big thing out of Christmas. We, like for the last 100, 200 years, this is a tradition, so we have more time to be with our family and do not have to cook. So the sausage thing is our culture, you can say.
In Poland, we don't eat meat on Christmas Eve. But about sausage, the Polish sausage is better. Even Tenacious D sing the song about kiełbasa. It's Polish sausage.
Yeah.
Sausages are great.
Sausage is one of my favourite human inventions, to be honest.
After vaccines.
So many types as well.
Yeah.
So many types of sausages. Something for everyone. When it comes to
there is.
I like the ones from my local butcher, but I did live in Germany for a long time myself, and my favourite German sausage is Bockwurst.
Yeah,
damn, those are great.
Bockwurst.
I like a good
Mine's Bratwurst.
Yeah, see, they're a bit spicy for me, Bratwurst.
Love a spicy sausage.
The Italian ones,
I
the
really need
Weisswurst.
to go to the Schnelly. I miss the Schnelly.
Bockwurst is basically one of the reasons I crossed the border. I mean, I live pretty close to the border, so it's just 70 kilometers and I'm in Germany.
I'd love to live within very, very short driving distance of Holland. I'd be very happy.
Well, keep in mind that if you're in Holland, you're basically in short driving distance of everything in the country because...
Tonight is a sausage night.
Small.
Oh no!
Yeah, this is becoming like a rather sausage fest.
Yeah, he's
Well, I've not been able to get a word in edgeways with you lot flinging your sausages around.
Oh, Mr. S.
Hey.
Mr. Sausage, we're sorry.
I thought we weren't king shaming here. Are you king shaming our sausages here?
No, you knock yourself out,
Plenty of
guys.
other meats available.
Well,
Sensible. I thought this was a Glass Monster sausage stream.
Well, I don't know.
That's just how it ended up.
It's
That's gonna
getting
get
pretty
taken out of
wild, so
context.
why not bring a few more? We have Mr. Blue Marble Science, we have General E. Shady, and we have Spunchik. Good evening, guys. Welcome to the sausage party. And yes, Mike 71, I've seen that film, it's brilliant.
Gotta be careful with sausage party.
Oh, God. Oh, hello. I'm in chat.
You
Hello.
are indeed, General. How's it going, my friend?
I'm sorry for doing what I did to Gary, but I just couldn't handle that anymore.
Listen, General, all's cool as far as I'm concerned. We can catch up about that out of stream if you like, okay?
Yeah, cool.
No
cool,
worries,
cool.
no worries. Anyway, so welcome to the sausage party. Good evening, Blue.
No!
I believe the collective term is a sizzle.
A sizzle. Hello, Blue.
Hello, Mr. Sensible. How are you, sir?
I'm not so bad, thank you, Blue. I've only got one more day of isolation, so I'm raring to go. And I hope you're keeping well.
Yeah, very well.
And any updates on your Cavendish experiment? For those who haven't seen, Blue has built a Cavendish machine, if that's the right term.
I've been doing just doing a little bit of playing around with it on measurements in the last week or so. I've took a little time off away from it and started playing around making some debunk videos. I wanted to get back to gas pressure without a container because that
Oh God!
I thought, what the hell? if it made them that mad the first time, I wonder how mad they'll get if I do it again.
Well,
and apparently it's not going to be going too well.
Well, you see, the last I saw with you, Cavendish, because I'm sure you understand. I mean, I probably, like you, am subscribed to an awful lot of channels, and I actually had someone today. It was you. Oh, he's not here. Hugh was saying something about a video, and he said, "Oh, you're not subscribed." And I'd look, "Yeah, I am subscribed, Hugh." So, I did get the notifications. It's just finding the time to look at them. But I did have a look at one of your Cavendish ones a little while back, and I think you, well, I don't know what the term is, but you had the laser shining and it was moving slowly to the left, slowly to the right, very slowly. And I think it was a live stream you were chatting about it. So, I mean, how is the experiment actually going?
Well, it's actually done everything that that you would expect it to do. It generally has been pretty well behaved. It just depends on which torsion wire element you choose to put in it. And playing around with different combinations of weights and different types of torsion wire just to see what to work the best. And I haven't really made my mind up yet, but
have you been able to draw any experimental conclusions from it yet? Any measurements or?
Yeah, we can measure and have measured on several occasions already. The universal gravitational constant within a few percent of the accepted value. So pretty close for a guy doing crap out in his garage.
The oil worked.
Guys mentioned in here about the mage went out and did something. You have done exactly that as well, Blue. You've gone out and done something. It's not necessarily easy, but it's something.
Yeah, that's something that you won't catch a flat earther doing.
No. And I mean, I'm sure there's aspects of that. You think, well, I don't know how to do this bit or whatever. So you find out.
I look at you guys as like, say, Mr. Sensible, Blue Marble Science, Wolfie. Like, you guys are obviously, flat earth debunkers, but you also do and show the experiments or observations. Do you know what I mean? So I really have a lot of respect for you guys.
Well, it's fun. I presume, Blue, you've got yourself a nice lot of enjoyment out of doing that, as well as the hard work, of course.
Oh, absolutely. And to me, it's not hard work. It's I have fun doing that. I really enjoy doing that.
Blue, may I ask, the torsion wire, is it a torsion wire or does it need to be free of torsion?
No, it is. It should be. Let me think about how to answer that. What we're measuring when we call it a torsion wire, we're using it as the element that's going to provide the restoring force for that horizontal pendulum. So the gravitational force of attraction between the masses, that torsion balance, that is applying torsion or torque to the torsion wire, and that will set up an oscillation, right? Because this thing is a pendulum. It just sits horizontally. And the restoring force is actually the torque that you created in the wire when you pull the torsion balance itself off center. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I hear.
I
think I
tried
did
the
mention
oil.
to you at one point where I said use braided fishing line because it's so thin.
Yeah, I've thought about trying. In fact, I'm going to try some fishing line at some point.
Yeah,
fun.
You can get massive. You can get very, very thin braid with. It should not provide any resistance.
Just a shout out for Andy, who's had to drop out the stream for whatever reason. Thank you for joining us, Andy. Good night. Carry on, guys.
Good night, mate.
I don't really think it would take a super thin piece of fishing line, just because from what I can understand from the materials characteristics I've been able to look up on that stuff, that has a very low modulus of rigidity anyway. So, I mean, like a 20th of what you would get for copper or brass.
Yes.
and maybe
Yeah.
a 40th of what you get for steel. So it could still be a fairly decent diameter piece of line, which I'm sure would be more than good enough in tensile strength.
I can tell you that
yeah,
true from my ball
Spider silk.
contractions.
Yeah, it should be. So I don't know. We'll do some playing with that too. I got nothing else to do. Why not?
I tested the oil. I tried the oil thing on mine.
Yeah.
The bounce is gone. It goes to the middle, stops.
Are you doing a Cavendish as well, Glass?
Yeah.
You
And when I
really
take
don't
it
want
to
that because you're not going to be able to determine a torsion constant that way.
No, it goes right back to the same spot freely. Like when I put the ball beside it, it moves over towards the ball. It is working. It just doesn't have that swing over the opposite way and then come back.
Yeah, and if you're not able to measure the period of oscillation, you can't come up with a torsion constant, and you won't
You know
be able
what
to
they
calculate a value of G for it.
I was going to say, you know what they say, it doesn't mean a thing if it doesn't have that swing.
And we're back to the sausage party.
Dong.
That's what I tell all my girlfriends, but
We're demonetized.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, Regical's in here. Hello, Regical.
He is indeed.
How's it going, Blue?
He's
Oh,
being
good,
very
good.
spiffy.
Yeah. Normally I'm much louder and but I like listening to you guys. I'm kind of here in the stream and Colin basically threw me in here, literally in the middle of a sentence.
He didn't.
Colin.
He didn't. I did.
He
Mate.
did. He
I
always
did.
does.
I did.
Oh,
Ah,
hey.
But that's
We
all
love
right,
your voice,
Radical.
though, Radical.
That's all right, Radical,
Do you-
because without warning, I can chuck you back out again. Ha! Or bring you back in again, I suppose, Radical.
Oh, do it. You know you want to. Do it.
Don't break the night.
But at least allow me to say hi to Blue. Hi, Blue.
Blue.
So have you been polishing your cannon and balls?
Of course. That's what. Hey, wait a minute.
I kind of like fanboy a bit, like when obviously I fanboy when I come on to see Mr. Sensible, but like
Who's Mr.
when
Sensible?
Blue comes in and
Creaky
I don't know, like what are we talking about?
Yeah, I see him.
What I quite enjoy is this.
Yeah,
this
Radical,
is,
yeah.
This
Nice
is
to welcome
quite
you to the Glass One
open
stream.
house, isn't it? And we've got people who are non-debunkers, new debunkers, and seasoned debunkers all mixing in together. It's nice.
Well, I just heard you guys talk about all these, patting yourself on the back, for I'm the best debunker, these guys are the best debunker. But I have to stand up for my guys here. Jaronism, for instance, that's one of the better debunkers. You guys don't forget
Randy
Randy.
wins. Randy
And
wins.
Mr. Bob Nodell,
Thanks, Bob.
Ronnie as well,
Thanks,
of course.
Thanks, Bob.
What about Dell?
Ronnie's one of the best.
Dell has
No.
right?
I
No.
don't understand a word.
No.
Can we have some
No.
nose? Can we have some nose in the stream, please?
I'll give you a better one.
No.
Oh, I gave a knee. Knee.
You are the nicest. Hey, me.
Monty Python lanes.
Oh no, we're gonna lose it now.
We want to see. We want to see the entire
Imagine
screen.
a cow now, like,
No.
I'm imagining a cow now kneeing rather than like mooing, like knee.
That video's been made, right?
Oh, we got some more knee. Oh man. Well, bang goes my stream.
No.
No. Oh
No.
It's kind of funny that Jesse doesn't understand Dell, and I doesn't understand Dell. So
Someone messaged me and asked if I could make a video on him, and I just answered and said, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I can't. I just can't.
no.
Can I just say that Mandevil had a message automatically held. I accidentally deleted it. I'm sorry, man. It was not intentional. There was nothing wrong with your message.
well,
More cow emojis.
Wait.
So many
I just
people
got-
can't
I just got-
understand Dell. Sorry, Reg, mate, you carry on.
Okay, I just got told off in front of 1,500 people or something on Dan's stream that I deleted your super chat, and now you're deleting chats as well, huh?
You did delete my super chat. That cost me £2. That did.
He did, didn't he?
I thought that's a cheap way to shill myself out on his channel, and you go and bloody delete it.
I wanted
You've got, yeah. I think you owe Mr. Sensible a super chat.
Or at least £2, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a thing. I thought it was going to time you out, man. I'm still a moderator now, so be careful.
Yeah, you should be careful. Are you a moderator on here?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe.
Moderator.
Well,
moderator.
if he is, I would suggest taking him off, Mr. Sensible.
Give it a few seconds.
Kick him from the
Yeah, he is a mod, isn't he?
Yeah,
Let's time him out. Can we time out a mod?
I shouldn't bother. I shouldn't bother. He's not.
Super chat went down. Go boom boom.
He's been timed out, and he's not a mod either now.
No! I'm gonna tell Del on you. He lives near you.
I tell you what, Radical. I want you to say something else now. Go ahead. Everyone, be quiet. Let's listen to Radical. No, speak up a little.
What do you want me to say?
Well, say something.
What do you want me to say? I don't know what to say.
Can anyone hear him? He's so quiet now. Oh, there you go.
What was that
Reg.
you were going to say, Radical?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're back again. You're back again, my friend.
Let me see. Do I thought I had some stuff over
It's
here.
only 1,300 of us. Tell us something.
Oh, no, I don't have powers here.
No.
Never mind.
No, never mind.
Discord.
Oh dear. I think you and I perhaps should come to a truce, Raj, before one of us kills the other. How's that sound?
Well, I may need to know your general location for unrelated reasons.
Ooh.
We don't go doxing here.
No, we don't go doxing.
It has nothing to. I just input it in my system, and then something happens on the castle. I'm not responsible for what happens on.
Are they actual gauntlets you fire?
Oh no, they're just peasant hands.
That's my neighbour's house has just gone.
Oh, wait for it. Here comes
I didn't like them anyway. Oh, look at that.
The question is,
Irish
did
Dublin
you
girl.
take into effect the Coriolis effect?
That's what's hit the neighbour's house, isn't it? Irish Dublin girl has just super chatted $2 US saying maybe this will replace what Radical deleted. Ha ha ha. Yeah. I hope, Irish. That's very kind of you, Irish. It was very underhanded and unbecoming of a moderator to do that, wasn't it, Radical?
Well, I'm a Dark Knight, so what do you expect me to do? I aim to misbehave.
Oh dear. Oh, it's good to see you again, Raj, because I've not seen you around much for a while.
Yeah, well, I handled almost all the flat Earth claims, and they haven't brought up anything new. So NASA, get on it, man. They need something new to debunk, and they never do. So
you really should subscribe to his channel, Mr. S.
Radicals. Well,
I'm kicking other people around now. They're being kicked out of cars, and there's a payoff, right? They're kind of like flat earthers, the sovereign citizens. They're kind of like flat earthers, but there's a payoff that they get pulled out of cars. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually I do love the sovereign citizen videos. Who else is doing some great ones? I've noticed you are Radical and Schrödinger's cat. Schrödinger, yeah.
Yeah, Schrödinger's cat.
Yeah.
I can actually share a couple from Australia with you on Discord. There's some, Australian solves are one of a kind.
Are they bogans?
Yeah, fully. I'll drop them into Discord on Mr. S's chat somewhere, and you can pick them up from there.
All right. I'm always looking out for other stuff. They're a bit harder to find somehow. I don't know why.
Well,
maybe because my suggestions are still set to flat Earth stuff, so I still see, flat Earth derp. So.
We're getting bored with American solve sets, but the Australian
lots of
solve sets
Globers
are
on my
actually very different.
Different. Well, at least I
lack
can
of a
understand
better
them,
Don't
Well, that's
bet on that.
amazing. Do people understand you, Raj?
No.
We should put
I don't
you
even
and
understand
Creaky
myself.
into a debate. That would be interesting.
We've been on his channel together before, right?
Two people totally baffled over what the other one's just said.
with Dal as a moderator.
Yes.
Oh,
The subtitles to that. The subtitles to that would be amazing.
Hey, Smith,
Yeah, imagine the subtitles on that one.
No, shut up.
To be fair, Dell's doing pretty good in Flat Earth Land.
Is he?
No, we'll
Well, he's
make
still got his
Nathan
channel.
Thompson the moderator. We'll
His
make
channel is
Nathan
growing.
Thompson the moderator.
I don't know.
No.
What do you guys think? Dell's a real flat earther, or do you think he's like a troll?
No. Dell is a Flat Earther.
No.
He's the only one. He's also the best one.
Sorry, you think he is a flat earther? Did
Yeah.
you say, Reg? Yeah, I think he is. I think he is.
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah,
He thinks he is.
further,
You know what's
further I've gone
interesting?
on.
And it's not Jaren. It's not in Jarenism font. I
Seek. STST.
Who's got a bad mic?
broke
STST.
something.
Oh, sorry,
Back
buddy.
to your
Yeah.
radio receivers.
There's some.
That's better. Yeah, sorry, Raj.
Oh,
you were just
wow.
saying.
He's trying to censor me.
Yeah, that's
Stop
fine.
censoring Radical. So yeah, I saw something in chat and it just tickles me because there's something Jesus feels inside. That name is so wrong, mate. I mean, Jesus feels inside you or something. What the hell's your name? But he's going on about globe lies. Now the only globe lies I hear are from Fleur. So there's that.
Like I said before, he must have been an altar boy or a choir boy.
Feel Jesus in you.
That was one.
It's his name. They're not known for phrasing. Let's just say it. Jesus comes
Does
again.
that sound okay now? Did my sound
Yeah, that's
sound
fine.
weird?
What was it? A battery gone or something?
When I just figured it
yeah,
out. What it says in the
nearly.
Bible. The Earth ending, it's referring to flat Earth ending. That's what's saying in the Bible.
Ah,
Flat Earth
that makes sense.
end.
You can make that book say anything you want anyway, so.
What
I
gets
guess
me
that's the
is
purpose of the book.
Yeah, it is.
they think the firmament means. They said the firmament separates the water, but they think it's the bloody sky. It's the land. Firmament is the ground, not the bloody sky.
Well, what amuses me is the interpretation of a flat Earth, where they ignore the fact that the Bible's referring to four corners of the world. In other words, it's a square, not a circle. So
Don't
they should be
confuse
talking about
Bricks.
something else, shouldn't they?
Don't confuse the issue, Bricks.
How you know it's not a trapezoid?
It's a triangle. We all know that because the
Yeah,
angles
I wanna
inside
get
the
three
triangle
corners.
equal.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that, Glass? I
Triangles
should
like
think
three
that,
corners.
you know, if have you got a triangle calculator? Have you spoken to Anthony Riley? Or maybe there are four-pointed triangles. You've not thought of that,
But
had you?
don't
Isn't hard.
Don't
The
measure
triangles
it.
are connected
The only
together.
Don't
thing
measure
is it has 4 points. It's got volume to it. Would be a pyramid.
Well, there you
That'd
go.
have 5 points.
but don't measure it in
But a
miles.
triangular
because
pyramid would
I
have 4
can't.
points.
I only work in miles. I can't. You know.
That's so funny, isn't it? Like
That's all right. I had,
I
So
can
I had a
see.
flat
Sorry,
earther.
guys, if I can interrupt for a second, I can see that Gary Wybengo is being asked to stop spamming. I've not seen the spamming, but Gary, if you are, please desist. I have raised issue with mods tonight, as you know. So please hold up your end of the bargain and don't spam.
Oops.
Okay. Thank you.
I was going to time him out.
No, Raj. No,
Oh, yeah,
I'm no longer a moderator.
Join me, brother. Join me.
I sent some trust issues.
Oh, dude, that's
Hey,
a shame, isn't it,
Tell him to
Raj?
be careful. If Glass Monster's name turns blue, he's coming after you.
Don't make me the only one. Join me.
Sorry,
I feel
who-
so nostalgic not being a blue name now.
We're all in here. Why can't Gary be in here?
Well, Gary's
He's checked.
has come in. He can come in if he
oh
wants.
yeah,
Gary-
he has actually, isn't he?
I've asked Gary to debate me several times on the pandemic, and weirdly enough, he swerves me.
Well, there you go, Gary. Actually, Gary, has Gary got views opposing yours then?
Oh, he's got massively opposing views. But Gary seems to believe that his medical knowledge is superior, and he doesn't. He even managed to get his wife's occupation wrong. He said she was a labour nurse, and then acted all confused when I said midwife.
Well, listen.
Gary's
if between the two of you, you can come to an agreement to hold a debate, I will happily host that debate. Okay.
I would happily do that.
So there you go, Gary. If you can always contact me, and we'll see if we can get that sorted. Unless you've got contact details directly for Paul.
Is Rich still in chat?
I've got no contact details for Gary.
To debate.
Gary, okay, you said you didn't spam one thing. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Gary. Don't worry. I didn't block you or anything. I just raised the issue. So if you're carrying on, that's fine. So Gary, are you interested in a debate with Paul at a date to be arranged that I will happily host? If so, let us know or DM me, and we'll see if we can get it sorted out. Okay. And
he's cooking dinner.
As a general thing, if anyone does have an opponent they wish to debate, I am happy to host that. I will be painfully fair.
I'll debate speak truth on the dumbness of flat Earth, as we were both former flurfs.
I didn't know you were, Glass.
Yeah, I found that out earlier. I said to him, like, you need to make more of a thing of that, dude. Like, get that word out there.
You would be the best moderator on the planet, as far as I can see, Mr. S.
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm yawning. That's not because I'm not interested in General.
Comment.
I was watching Band of Brothers until 2 in the morning. Sorry. Thank you very much, General. That's very kind. Yeah, I would definitely do my best to be painfully fair, and then we'd probably be kicking myself if the Flat Earther ended up winning because they had the better argument. But that's the way it goes, I suppose.
Well, that will never happen. We all know it.
Well, we shall see. So if anyone,
Mr. Sensible, I have a very good case to make for me getting a spanner again.
Okay.
Because Mandevil needs to have 3 minutes to make his toast, and I need to time him out. You know, so I'm just saying. Hey, Mandevil is not working. They're laughing at me. It was a nice try, though, right?
Well, you haven't posted any message, so how can I make you a mod when there's no message to mod?
Well, that's not true. I was chatting in the chatty bit.
Were you?
Sometimes.
Yes, so you were. But then on your
I'm gonna get timed out. 3, 2, 1.
You're blue again. How can I resist you? You're blue again. Mrs. S. Raj, Mrs. S, if you remember, thinks you've got the most fantastic accent. Actually, and along with Blue.
Yeah, we can start a channel together, Blue, and, get all the subs.
You made magical the unhauled night blue.
Yes. Where's Glass
fair.
Monster? Let me see. Where's Glass? Say something, Glass Monster, in the chat. I mean, I won't do anything. I just want to see your beautiful name there.
Mold me.
Wait, Mandevil, I'll give you your 3 minutes, by the way. Let me see. Put user in timeout. All right. Go make your toast. I'm doing my
being
job.
petitioned to take away your privileges, Raj.
By Webber.
Yeah.
Crap. Oh, the chat says so I'll be normal again.
Oh, dear.
The £2 has been replaced, though, hasn't it? If you know what I mean. So.
Well, it wasn't replaced by Raj, though. He committed the crime, and someone else took the punishment.
Yeah.
People have my back.
If you're going to do the crime, you've got to do the time. So.
I'm a man of the people.
Oh, guys. Guys, I have in the live waiting room. Let me just message him. See if he wants to come on. Gary's Gary is in the live waiting room. I
Hey,
just sent a
Gary.
message.
Oh, Gary.
Now listen, what I will
please.
say,
Gary.
guys, what I will say, there is one Gary and about 15 of you. Okay, so if he comes on, this is not the chance to. Oh, actually,
All jump on him and pound him senseless.
Only one of each of us.
We're not flat earthers, so.
okay, yeah.
All jump on top of him and pound him senseless. No,
no. Okay, let me be.
We're all being nice.
Yeah, if we can talk to and we can challenge Gary. If anyone takes it beyond that, what I'll do, because it's very difficult with so many in here, what I'll do is I'll chuck you out, okay? I don't want that to be the case. I'm sure it won't be the case, so let's bring in Gary, okay? Hello, Gary. You're back in live. How are you? Hello, Gary. Oh, he's popped out again. Maybe he's sorting his mic or something. We'll give him a minute. That's fine.
Claim that one.
You can always let the two former players talk to him.
Yeah, he just wants to talk to Colin, and Colin's going to relay everything.
Oh, Colon's gone now. Oh, hello, Colin.
Okay, Mr. S, Gary is ready to come in.
He's ready to come back again. Okay. All right. Cheers, then.
He's preparing himself.
I'm not prepared for that, said Kent Hovind. Oh, right. Oh.
No.
Is he?
No.
Is there a problem again?
No.
All right, let's bring him in. Hello, Gary. You're through. You're live. Gary. Hello, you're here. Right. Well, I've had a word with everyone, and I've asked them to be mindful of the fact there's one of you and, well, about 10 of them, actually.
That's all right. I'm not working.
Okay, and I hope that you will again see that I've tried to keep things open and fair for you tonight so that you can speak. Yeah.
Well, just to say it, just a little while ago, you said something about somebody said I was copy and pasting, but they actually meant somebody else. The person, I can't remember who did it. They actually put another one in there saying, "Oh, I meant somebody else."
Yeah, and I did see.
I
did
copy
see.
and paste one thing.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, Gary. That's great, because I would much rather that you take part, and you have done before on other occasions as well. I'd much rather you take part, get stuck in, have a discussion, have an argument. Maybe you persuade someone towards your way. Maybe someone gets you to change your views. That's great. That's what I want. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hello, Gary, mate. I've only ever seen you in the chat, so it's actually first time I've ever heard you speak. So respect for stepping on, mate.
For doing what? Stepping on you?
No, I think stepping into the chat.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah, I've just never heard you kind of speak, so that's nice to put a voice to the guy in the chat, if you know what I mean.
Well, you can watch my YouTube so you can hear me talk. That'd be a good idea. But no, yes.
Yeah, no. No, I'll check you out, buddy. Yeah.
There's two Garys in chat now, by the way.
Because sometimes. Oh, sorry,
well.
I'm talking to Roy Benga. Is that not Gary Wybenga?
No, I'm sorry. It's the same guy. Gary Wybenga soccer account is also here.
Oh. No,
just saw
sorry. What I mean is, like, sometimes I don't realise a channel is making content. Do you know what I mean? So I might see them and think of them as like only in the chat and not realise they're making content. So I wouldn't have seen any of your videos.
Of course, the Gary Wybenga soccer account is not me.
Yeah,
just someone taking the piss.
Right. Just want to make sure.
So, Gary, what are your thoughts on the COVID thing? Because I know your opinions about, well, I know. I gather you're a flat earther rather than a globe earth. Excuse me, globe earth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make assumptions about your views on COVID and vaccination. So, would you care to share those tonight?
Sure. I don't vaccinate. I mean, my kids got vaccinated, but not with all of them, because then I started finding papers at the school where they didn't have to take them, and my kids are healthy. I never get sick. I haven't had the flu ever that I can recall, not even when I was a kid. I get occasional colds, like maybe once every 3 years I might get a cold. I didn't get all my vaccinations, so I'm kind of anti-vax, but I'm not opposed if you want it. I just don't want people to make me get one. And that's
so you're
my
sort of quite neutral about it, then, are you? You don't think they're bad or anything like that?
No, I don't. I actually don't think they're good for you. But I'm not even going to argue about that. That's a whole other subject. I just personally don't think they're good. My wife's RN at a hospital. She refused the COVID vaccine when it came in, and so did a bunch of the other nurses and some of the doctors. They're not forcing them yet, so she didn't have to. Then she also decided not to get the flu shot because she's a nurse. They make her get the flu shot, or they make her wear a mask if you refuse a flu shot. So since they were making them wear masks anyhow, she refused the flu shot too this year. So. And I know a lot of people that don't vaccinate their kids, and their kids are quite healthy. So.
But what about, I mean,
Gary?
Here in the UK, Gary, we had all but, what's the word, prevented measles. When that whole thing about MMR came out with Dr. Andrew Wakefield, and a whole load of people stopped or delayed vaccinating their kids, a few years later, we start getting measles epidemics.
And so what? We get them everybody vaccinated their kids.
Perhaps Paul can tell us more, but I believe that people can be blinded and have other effects of measles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody when I grew up got measles, and nobody got blinded that I know of.
No, of course not everyone.
We all got measles. We all got mumps. We all got measles. We all got chicken pox. Was never life-threatening.
I know someone that got blinded by it.
Gary.
Okay, well, if it happens occasionally, but who knows what the vaccines do in the long haul? We don't really know.
But
they don't really have
you can't take, say, the fact that your children didn't have that vaccination and didn't get ill. That can't be evidence that the vaccine doesn't work.
Well, neither does saying that somebody didn't get ill because they got the vaccine. That doesn't mean anything either.
Well, Gary, someone called. Actually, I'm just going to take control a second. Someone called Alism. It's a super chat at $2 Australian, Gary, saying you vaccinate to protect those who can't. That's true. I mean, it's to protect yourself as well. But we've got IB Hunter in here tonight, who I think it was his son is having a heart or has had a heart transplant, and so that involves immunosuppressants. So he'll be at great risk. So he is partly reliant on other people vaccinating to, in effect, to provide a wall to protect him.
Gary, have you ever heard
a question on that? Let me ask you a question.
I'll tell you what. Let Gary ask this question.
Yeah, he was talking, so why not?
Yeah, hold on. I'll let Gary ask this question, and then Gary.
Yeah.
I would like the others to hang fire, to give Paul a chance, because he's probably a better person to speak to you about this. So, what's your question, Gary?
Okay. How long are you guys going to wear your mask? Forever?
No.
Because there's always these immune-compromised people. There always have been. And the flu is always around every year.
Yeah.
And yet we don't wear masks for that. But now if you're in all good conscience saying we should, then I would say you should wear one forever. You know, it's like, I'm sorry. It's just like, I'm not letting people take my freedoms from me. And I have a freedom to breathe air without a mask. It's ridiculous.
Okay. I would say a couple of things. First of all, I'd say that the comment about flu and immunosuppressed people is actually quite an interesting comment. I'll have to have a think on that. I'm being open on this. I'll have to have a think on that. But as for breathing air, you can with a mask. But look, let me bring Paul in. And if other people can hang back, because Paul's obviously works in some capacity in the medical environment. So go ahead, Paul.
Right. Gary, first of all, to answer your first question, how long are people going to wear masks after the pandemic? Gary, that's a ridiculous question. Ask in Asia. Ask in Asia how long they're still going to wear masks. They were still wearing masks all the way through 2019. There was following the SARS outbreak. They were still wearing masks in the Middle East. Following the MERS outbreak, coronavirus, SARS and MERS are also are coronaviruses. This is a derivative. This is an adaptation of a coronavirus. They were still wearing masks. So, yeah, it isn't implausible for people to continue wearing masks once a pandemic has finished. But to come on to your point around other people getting vaccinated or not getting vaccinated and your kids haven't been vaccinated, and that's fine. That's absolutely your choice. But, Gary, there's herd immunity. If people in the community are all vaccinated, their immunity stops the disease, exactly as Mr. Sensible's just said, stops disease reaching you. So you don't need that vaccination personally, and that's your choice. You absolutely have that right. And that's good. But
Do you
that
know
herd
measles
immunity.
Measles sheds when you first get the vaccination, you're supposed to be apart from people for a period of time?
Sorry, I missed that.
Did you know that the measles vaccination, when you get the vaccination, you're supposed to stay away from people for a period of time because you shed?
Yeah.
And nobody does. Nobody does.
Okay, it's a bit of a straw man,
Could that
Gary.
be why you have no? Could that be why you get some of your outbreaks? Because the ones who actually got the vaccine are spreading it? Because they're not isolating themselves for a period of time after they get that shot?
For many years.
So are we talking about measles or are we talking about?
Well, with measles, for many years, it's virtually unknown in this country. Or it's the number of cases was minuscule. Since the Andrew Wakefield thing and the MMR, it's increased massively. There's a direct connection.
And look at the effects of the polio vaccination. Look at the effects of the smallpox vaccination. Gary, polio and smallpox are. Look at the infection rates of those following mass worldwide vaccination programs.
What about all the children in India and stuff that were getting vaccinated with the polio vaccine and coming down with polio? There was a lot of them. This is recent history.
Yeah, and equally, yeah.
Did they shed when they got the vaccination? They shed?
Look at efficacy rates. Look at efficacy rates. If the efficacy rate of a vaccination is 90%, which is a good percentage for a vaccination, then there's still 10% of people who are going to be immunized, who are going to receive the vaccination, immunized, but the vaccine doesn't take hold.
Well,
okay,
let's just say
so
we're not going to agree in any way. I'm really not here to talk about vaccines. If you want them, be my guest. Don't make me. That's all I ask. No one's going to make
it.
You guys try to shame. You guys aim to shame people who don't or who buck the system. Go against what you think is science.
Gary, no, I've got to come in there.
No, you guys do it. You guys were doing it all through the chat.
Gary, if that's what you think, then that's fine. That's your opinion. But the reality is, every single shred of medical and scientific evidence shows that vaccinations work. Vaccinations drive down infections, and nobody. There were laws passed, international laws passed after the Second World War, where Hitler had forced medication on people, and there were laws passed to make it internationally illegal to force people to have medications. No one's going to force you to have a medication.
Oh, yes, they will. Yes, they will. They'll make it impossible for you to do things unless you do it. That's what's going to end up happening.
You know what?
Remember, I said so. In the future, if you don't get the COVID vaccine, they won't make you, but then you won't be able to hold a job, you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to eat in a restaurant, you won't be able to go into a state building.
Gary, already...
So they make your life technically impossible, and they're going to do it. Oh, you know they're going to do it.
But Gary,
you know
already...
they will. Remember I said so. That's all I've asked. I'm not going to argue about it.
No, Gary, I'll remember you speculated.
Gary,
I'll remember
I told you, trust me, the corporations, the banks, the insurance companies are all going to make it so
and
you
there we go. That's exactly what I said earlier,
You have to take
Gary.
the vaccination, which
and
is
that
basically
is exactly what I said earlier.
Right.
And Gary, that is exactly what I said earlier. You obviously have a distrust of establishment, and that's fine. But if you've got a distrust of an establishment, that's your choice. You've gathered that information. You've come to that conclusion.
You totally trust the whole medical profession, and you totally trust the government on everything, right?
No.
Gary, you are aware that there are countries that you can go to.
You're no different than I am.
Gary, you are aware that there are countries that you can't go to without having had certain vaccinations because certain diseases are rife there.
And that's their law, so I wouldn't travel there without it. I just won't go to those places.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with that. But if, for instance, let's say...
No, we're in the United States. We're not other countries.
No, I know you're in the United States, but let's say then, this is, I've not heard that it's the case, but if in the States they say, or certain states say, right, if you want to work in a hospital, you've got to have this, that, or the other vaccine. There you go. It's your choice. Do I have that vaccine and work in the hospital?
Yeah, it becomes not a choice. It becomes you're forced into the choice.
But then you're forced not to go to certain countries.
No, you can make separate choices.
Oh, no. Come on. You know good and well the time will come here in the United States and probably where you live, that they will force you to take it or you can't really basically live.
Well, then
you won't be able to do anything. You'll have to sit in your house with the doors locked and somebody delivering stuff to you because you won't be allowed out.
Well,
it's just you can see the writing on the wall unless you're blind.
Gary, sorry.
Sorry.
Can I just, Gary, take a breath and let me just refresh what you've just said. So you're now suggesting that if you haven't had a vaccination, you are thinking that the government won't allow you out of your house. That's literally what you've just said. Can I just clarify that?
Yes, the time is coming when that will happen. Yes.
Wow.
Just remember I said so. Just remember I said it.
Well,
I guarantee you will not be able to have a job. You will not be able to
go
to the bank or go to a state or government office. You won't be able to go to a restaurant. You won't be able to fly on a plane.
Okay, so Gary,
you'll
let me
not be allowed to travel to certain cities like New York.
Let me turn that round then, Gary. Let me turn that round, Gary. So, under those circumstances, are you saying that if you did have the vaccine, you would be able to have a job, travel, and do whatever? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they already could talk about having a COVID-19 passport.
So you're saying then that the choice will come: have the vaccine and you can do stuff. Don't have the vaccine and you can't.
Yes.
Okay.
They'll make your life where you can't live unless you get it.
Okay. So if there's no evidence showing
you
that
think
the vaccine,
that's right? You think that's right?
Hold on, Gary. I'm just establishing a line of argument here. So if there's no evidence to show that the vaccine actually does you harm, even if it does no good, if it doesn't do any harm, why not have it so that you can have that job, travel here, there, or everywhere?
You know, they just recalled a batch of the vaccine for COVID because of all the people having allergic reactions to it. That was just all over the news yesterday.
I did. I have to say, I haven't.
Wasn't on my news, Gary, but
I haven't seen.
I know at least one doctor in the hospital where my wife works who came down with COVID about a week after he got the vaccine.
Well, that's not
a week after, Gary.
That's not.
Yeah, a week after.
That's not
superb. The vaccine doesn't work, Gary. The vaccine doesn't work straight away. It's not fucking paracetamol. You don't take it and it's cured. You take the vaccination.
Put it this way: your vaccination, they don't even know if it works. You just read their own literature. They don't. They don't know if it works. Read their own literature.
It's just as tested as any other vaccine, Gary.
Their own companies say that. Go to Moderna and read in their literature. They really don't know if it's going to do anything.
Literally, Gary, I have. It's my job. And I've also read that.
You know what? I know. I work in the dairy industry. I've heard veterinarians and experts telling me cows don't remember how to graze grass. Okay, well, what does that mean? I mean, basically, experts can say whatever they want. Doesn't mean they're saying the truth or that they're right. And even if you work in the industry, you can be totally wrong.
And Gary, I have listened. I'm the first to say that science and medicine has to earn its trust. It has to earn its authority. Because guess what, Gary? Medicine hasn't always got it right. But medicine has proven over and over. But
you're sure they got this one right? You're sure they got this right?
Are you going to let me finish my point? Medicine has proven over and over and over that vaccination programs work. Smallpox, polio. Its track record is phenomenally good for something that apparently doesn't work.
Of course, all these vaccinations came along when they got good water and plumbing in houses, and they didn't have to shit in the.
What?
Yes, when they got good plumbing, that's when a lot of those things went away. When they got good water and good plumbing, they became healthier. They had healthy water. Oh no, come on! Sanitation is very important.
Gary,
they used to have outhouses.
Would you walk through a ward of people with Ebola? Do you deny viruses exist?
I don't know if viruses exist or not.
So
I wouldn't have any problem walking through.
Would you walk through?
I've been around people with COVID. Don't worry about it. I haven't gotten sick.
If doctors tell you these 20
Ebola ward, yes or no?
The doctors say these 20 people in this ward have Ebola. Would you walk through that ward and perhaps spend half an hour chatting to them?
If I had to walk through the ward, I wouldn't have any problem. No.
With Ebola. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least we know where you stand. I'm going to read out a couple of super chats.
I don't walk around. I don't walk around with fear. It's like you guys are all like scared of everything.
Well, listen, I've had super
I'm not
chat
scared
from
of it, Gary. I'm just not stupid.
No one's calling you scared, Gary. Calm down.
So what happened to this Ebola? It kind of nicely disappeared, right?
I've had
super.
Guys.
Sensible read out a super chat.
Thank you.
I mean,
Except for you never hear about it
Gary,
anymore.
shut up. Be quiet for a moment.
Right.
You know,
I've had a
behave.
super chat from Alison again for $2 Australian saying, "Oh no, a mask, my freedoms." And PhD Tony has super chatted $5 Australian. Thanks, Tony, saying, "I will wear a mask for the." Oh, hold on. Let me just get the full thing. I will wear a mask for the rest of my life if it is shown to be necessary. And
Absolutely.
Alison has super chatted one more time.
And that makes two of us.
$2 Australian saying, "Gary, if the Earth is flat, can you show us a map?" Actually, but
that time will come. That time will come.
Okay. Well, listen, what I do want to say,
we'll figure it out.
What I do want to say,
Gary,
Gary,
there's a lot of things on your spinning. There's a lot of things on the spinning pair that don't work like we were told.
Well, I'll say two things. Well, one second, Jen. 1 second, Gary. I want to actually say thank you for coming into the side chat and doing your very best to stand by the agreement or our discussion last week, and I hope you feel that I try to as well. And I also want to thank you for coming on the stream because you've come on here. You've not been sort of wildly insulting or anything. You are vastly outnumbered, and you've trusted that I'll try and keep the hordes in check against you. So I want to thank you for that, Gary. Okay, I think you're totally wrong about everything, but I think it's good for us to talk about this sort of thing. And I think General wanted to say something to you.
If I may, Gary, I timed you out earlier. I went against the grain, and I'm sorry about that. I just
apology
lost a little.
Not necessary.
I just lost a little. But I'll say one thing then. If everyone's driving down a highway in one direction, and it's a 6-lane highway, will you get on that highway and drive in the other direction?
What's that got to do with anything?
Because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It doesn't even relate to what we're talking about.
No, that's too advanced for him, mate.
It really
I'm
does.
not on a 6-lane highway with everybody coming towards me. Okay, that's completely not even relatable to what we're talking about.
You're going far against the grain, and eventually you're going to cause a collision. That's what you're doing.
Well, then the other people should turn around. They're going the wrong way.
Wow, is it hubris?
This is literally a flat Earth brain
they're the ones who are actually going the wrong direction. So I'm the one who right.
Well, Mr. Hugh Jarsz,
Mr.
Hugh Jarsz has super chatted $5 Australian. Thank you very much, Hugh, saying I have to wear a mask by law, but that's because I'm monstrously ugly. Yeah, quite right. Release the corgis. Thank you, Hugh.
I heard Rhetoric has to. I heard Rhetoric basically has to wear an entire hazmat suit.
I heard he wears a mankini.
Oh no!
No, that's team, and he's proud of it.
I to be honest, you've all seen the Hugh Jarsz image, haven't you, on his channel?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little peewee hanging out the bottom.
Yeah.
Mr. Sensible, I just have one thing to say because I am very insulted here. And
okay.
This is not a flat Earth Discord. How dare you say we gang up on people? That's not what we do.
That's true.
How dare you?
That's true. But I think a lot of flat earthers do use that sort of technique. I have no idea if Gary ever goes on any discords and joins any streams elsewhere. I have no idea. So I'm not suggesting this is Gary at all. But many flat earthers do use that sort of technique. So I wouldn't have been surprised if an assumption would be made as one person going onto a stream when there's 10, 11 others from the opposite view that they may feel that they could be ganged up on. Now, I know that the sort of people I have on my stream are not the ones who are likely to deliberately do that. However, people can get heated, a little hot under the collar, whatever. So, no, I do appreciate you coming on, Gary, and I appreciate all you guys for staying very quiet while I had a little bit of a word, but Paul had more of a word with Gary, and let him have his head. So thank you, everyone.
I did say I
cheers,
would
Paul.
have preferred like an NFL game where we all jump on top of the player.
I don't know about this place, but at my place we don't kink shame, so have at it. I'm not sure if Gary is into that. Are you, Gary? I don't know. No?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at your name. Are you a Dutchman?
Wait, hold up.
A smoke and a
How do you conclude I'm a Dutchman from my name? I want to know.
Your name, there are similar Dutch names. That I
There
know.
are no
People I
similar Dutch names.
Kuiper,
It's a made-up name.
Raj,
How do you pronounce your name?
I do know.
Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing here.
I do know.
the Unhallowed Night. That's me.
I do know several other Mr. Unhallowed Night, so it's quite possible.
Oh, I thought it was this Joe Kuiper talking. That's why it kept highlighting. I thought it was him.
Ah, no, it's
That
Raj.
sounded like a Dutch name.
Yeah, I'm Dutch too.
That is a Dutch name, yeah.
I'm Dutch, and so's my wife.
But the question is, do you hate the Dutch for their tolerance?
I'm complete Dutch. My both grandparents came from the Netherlands, from
Your
Friesland.
last name gives it the ring.
Friesland. Yeah.
I just had a very bad
Debunker.
thought and thought Gary's a dunce. Dutch.
Oh.
Oops.
Oh.
You just insulted 3 people here. That's brave.
The only thing in this house that's Dutch that I know of is I've got a Dutch oven.
A Dutch oven.
Yeah.
Well, we've always grown up with the saying, if you're not Dutch, you're not much.
Oh. Right. On that note,
That's basically the local saying from Friesland, where he's from. You're from Friesland, Gary?
Yeah, my grandparents on both sides came from Friesland.
Yeah, so basically Friesland.
I've never been anywhere over there, so.
I'm from
Yeah, we came on
Groningen, the state over, the province over, and there's nothing above Groningen.
Yeah.
Oh, there is nothing above Groningen. I live there too.
See? Confirmation.
Ding.
well,
Ding.
guys, it's now just gone half midnight. This has been a brilliant stream, actually. We've talked about all sorts of things. We've had a few other people been in and out. I want to thank everyone for all the super chats and all the comments, and everyone here on the panel. It's been a full night, and and thanks to you as well, Gary. Appreciate that. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just chuck you all into the live waiting room, and I'm going to wind up the stream. So I'll give you a chance just to shout out goodbye, and I'll start chucking you over, although I'm going to leave Jessie in here just for a minute. Okay, Jess? So everyone else,
Okay.
Thank you very much. Blue Marble Science, good night to you, sir, if you're still around.
I'm here. Good
He's
night.
here. You take care, my friend. And Brixie, it's good to see you back
Love
here
you, Blue
again.
Marble.
And good night.
Good night. And Destroy Flat Earth, formerly known as Glass Monster, I believe. Good night to you.
Party on.
And Gary, this is working directly down the list. Gary, thank you. Oh, he's gone. No, he hasn't.
No, I'm here.
You're here. Yeah, Gary, thank you very much. And hopefully you'll join in again, and you'll feel more and more comfortable just joining in the streams, yeah?
No, I'll come in again. You need an antagonist.
Absolutely. And you're quite antagonistic, so thank you very much. You take care, okay? Bye-bye. And Joe Kuiper, is it Kuiper? How do you say it?
Kuiper.
Sorry?
Well, Kuiper.
Kuiper.
Oh,
I'll do my best.
It's like Dutch version of Cooper.
Okay. Well, listen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Joe. And your mic's definitely okay now, anyway. So hope to see you again sometime. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
See you later.
Bye bye. And next is Paul. Paul, thank you very much, and for being able to put forward some knowledge and evidence on that situation. Appreciate that, Paul.
Yeah. No, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's
great to hear you, Paul, mate.
Hey.
Yeah, great to hear you.
Hey.
Great to hear you.
Great, eh?
Yeah. No, sorry to cut in there, but I really loved the way Paul held himself. Excuse me.
Yeah.
During that, sort of back and forth with Gary.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Appreciate that, gents, and it's the first time I've done anything remotely like that. So I'm glad that they're okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you then, Paul. And Radical, I'm glad to see you back here, my friend, because you've not been back for a while.
Yeah, I sometimes jump in. Sometimes you pop. It's kind of weird with YouTube, Sometimes I don't get notifications. Sometimes I get notifications. I got a notification this time.
Cool.
So,
well, it's an open invite to you, don't you, my friend?
Oh.
Cool.
And I'll come back.
Okay. Cool. All right. You take care. Bye bye.
No worries. Bye.
And seek truth, speak truth. You pop into the side chat quite frequently. You've been on a few times. It's always good to see you.
Yes, mate. Yeah, I think it's probably 5 or 6 times now. I think, mate.
Yeah.
So
well, you're
I
definitely
love coming
welcome.
in now and again and chatting with you guys. It's brilliant.
Excellent. Well, you take care, and hopefully I'll catch
You
up
too.
with you in a minute. Okay. All right. Cheers, my friend.
Cool.
And Spunchik, I don't think you got a word in edgeways, did you? If you're actually in here.
Well, I am in here.
Yeah.
I popped in just to have a word on vaccines and how I understand it. But since I've noticed that there is someone much smarter than me, I just stayed quiet.
Well,
Thank
not
you
necessarily
for having me
smarter,
on.
but I mean, I don't know what you know or what you don't know, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily smarter, but perhaps they got more evidence or information or experience in the subject.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me on and being able to hear you more live and a bit earlier than on the stream.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you take care, Spunchik. All the best. Bye-bye. And Vislanik, hello. Oh, Vislanik's just disappeared. Or did I just... I'm sorry, Vislanik. Did I accidentally throw you out there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining in the stream, and thanks for the super chats. Okay.
Thank you very much for having the opportunity to join you.
You're very welcome.
It was great fun. It was great fun.
It was a good stream, wasn't it? Okay, thank you, my friend. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
And that just leaves you, Jesse.
Yay!
Jesse, who was on, what was it? I keep forgetting. 73? Was it 73?
71.
71. And now on 135. So well done, you. I hope that you have fun making the videos. I'd like to see more of it. And it's always great to see someone new starting up.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No, you're very welcome, very welcome. What I'll do is I'll fling you back into the live waiting room with everyone else, and I'll wind up the stream and I'll just jump in again in 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, I'm glad you came in tonight. You take care. All the best.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. And thanks, everyone, for checking Jessie's stream, and she's got a whole bunch of subscriptions. I know what that means, especially when you've got a small number and you hit those targets. It means a lot. And it can really encourage you, so great stuff. As I said, thank you ever so much to everyone who's joined in tonight. It has been a good stream. We've had a sausage party, we've had a Gary Wybenga party, we talked about COVID, we talked about everything. Great stuff. Oh, talked about lockdowns, of course. I've got a couple vids coming out in the next couple of days, so that'll be interesting. And I'll look forward to seeing you all whenever the next live stream is. I'm not sure. Possibly Friday, because after my isolation, I happen to have some time off work. That's a shame, isn't it? So I want you all to take care. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Until next time, stay sensible.